this. Melina, how you doing?
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. I hope it's still not that confusing that on Twitter Spaces, my voice is not like showing up. I'm speaking through Chris's Twitter. We are currently live on, well, I'm streaming through my YouTube channel. We're on YouTube, we're on StreamYard. Where else are we? I feel like we're on so many other
We're on
platforms.
Facebook. We're in all the places. We're on Kick. I don't know. We're in too many
Where are we
places.
not? Where are we not?
I know I don't know what I'm doing or how I got here. I know that's the part I'm sure of. You know what? I do want to do a couple little things that we don't normally do. Let's do a sound check, and let's do that by greeting our friend Fanzo. Can you hear me, Fanzo? Let's see if we can hear you.
I can hear you. I'm connected on StreamYard right now, so I should be on that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. Okay.
Oh,
So
I see Sansa's laughing. Sansa, come on. Get on video. Show your face.
Look at this beautiful man right here. Oh, I got some new stuff to play with too. We're gonna get the live stream going here, bringing the spaces to the live stream. That is one of my favorite things that we get to do that nobody else gets to do because it's too hard to figure out, and they're not as silly as me. So here we go. Start virtual camera. Add to live stream. Mute tab. Oh boy. God, sorry about that. I said sorry about that, and then I didn't mute myself.
It's all good. I'm happy to see people are joining us. You know, I didn't do my typical sending this to everyone. Oh my God, Brooke!
I could hear us in the background.
Let's be real. It's just so fun to see faces. It just is.
It's true.
Greatest. I love it. Okay, I think we're all set up. If anybody's watching here, Fanzo, I don't know if you're watching on like 27 cool screens and stuff. I'm
probably
right now. Your face is glowing. You must have at least 3 of them yourself, right?
I'm gonna go in there too. Like,
I don't even know what microphone I'm talking into, so I have I change cameras, change microphones. I'm not sure what the hell's going on here.
No, you're good now. So here, this is the kind of rundown because I get asked this question all the time. Everybody wants to be able to live stream on top of their space, and it is insanely difficult to do so. And so what's going to happen is if you join on the live stream and you have a good mic, my best advice is use your good mic because that's going to pump into YouTube and all the other places. And then Twitter is just going to get all of that audio routed through my profile. It's kind of confusing, but you can see Farouk do it. You can see Nick and Pio do it. Well, you can see Pio do it, and Nick, his voice goes through Pio. Because Pio, here's the thing, it kind of routes all the attention to whoever's PFP has all the audio coming to it. And I have this whole thesis that you should do this through a show profile. So if you're like Sansa and you've got the espresso shot every morning at 8:30 PST, you should probably run the live stream through that account. Next Tuesday, better effing do the espresso shot profile, Sansa. And then everybody pays attention to that profile because they're like, hey, all the voices are coming from that one. So that is the alpha. That's part of this whole thing. But without further ado, we got Brooke Lacey up on here, and she's been chopping up those editing skills.
Right?
Why'd you get so much better?
I hear Chris like 1,000 times.
What's happening right now?
So what happens is if somebody has their mic on in both places, we get a loop. And for the internet, just so you know, when there's a loop and you make a loud noise and there's 2 mics open in different places at the same time and it's live, it can't go away. So it just keeps looping forever.
It's amazing.
Part of the problem is that damn Twitter Spaces, if you're on stage, doesn't allow you to turn the fucking volume all the way down.
Yeah,
So, like,
it is a problem.
Every time I do it with like multiple like this, I tell the person I'm interviewing, go take your phone, put it under a pillow in another room. And it's like,
I just put these in. I just put this in my phone. Like,
there you go.
That seems very Gen X of you. What are those headphones that plug in to your phone?
I have the same thing. I'm like, I have that little white wire.
That's what I'm saying. Or I have just another phone that I could go. Yeah.
God, you are clearly selling some fentanyl or something, Brooke. 2 phones?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl. Jesus.
I don't know if you did you mean fentanyl?
Yeah, I purposely. I mean, duh.
Yeah, you're
Wow.
taking profits.
Do you know what I'm talking about though? I'm trying to make a reference.
That I'm a drug dealer because I have multiple phones.
Well, that is the joke because a lot of my friends, when I used to work in television and I had a second phone, people used to be like, "Are you a drug dealer?" But the reason why I said fentanyl is because I want to, I remember what our senator Elizabeth Warren said that I was just doing the badamsha joke, but whatever, it's fine.
I can't pay attention to how much fuckery goes on in politics. Melina, you and I can just have a convo. I like this. Just go back and forth.
Look at this view. I got some new views. I'm excited to play with these different ones. I think this
is cool. So it's like whoever's talking gets.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
The big screen.
Like,
so I'll just keep talking.
There you go. I'll just do that.
But also, FYI, I was joking, and Brooke is not selling drugs. I was just trying to make a funny joke, but I also feel like let me just say that.
I mean, I'm glad you had to like say that. Okay, this thing that you're doing, Chris, is not like I'm gonna have a seizure with all of this flipping back.
All right, we'll just keep it to that. We'll let Joey speak. Go ahead, Joey.
I was gonna say I don't know about you guys, but I could turn the volume off on my phone for Spaces. So I don't know what kind of phones you guys have.
While you're a speaker?
We have Apple, okay?
While you're a
Stop it,
speaker?
Joey. Joey's got a Samsung.
Well, yeah. So right now, wait, hold on. So I have 2 phones. I have my everyday phone is my Samsung, which Spaces hates, and Roadcasters hate. Android doesn't get along with Roadcaster and Spaces. So I happen to have an old iPhone. It's not that old. This is an iPhone. Hold on. How do you even check what kind of iPhone this is?
You don't.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. This is the Joey checks the version of his phone.
iPhone
right now.
It's an iPhone 11. It's an iPhone 11 Pro, and I use that for Twitter Spaces and my Roadcaster, and I can completely turn the volume off on you guys where there's no sound at all. I can't do that on my Android, but I can on this phone.
You know, it's cool. I could turn the sound down on the Twitter Space so that they can only hear me on the stream, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep it rolling.
Yeah, I saw you doing that. You were doing that last week when you and I were on. I saw you flipping back and forth because I was actually thinking, because I have my phone plugged into my Roadcaster, so I could technically hard unmute, go back, but that, yeah.
It's fun when you're hosting a live stream of a space and somebody doesn't have the control to mute you because you're running your own production, but you're kind of hijacking theirs. So you can kind of do live commentary on something that's happening. And then you're completely in the driver's seat. So that's a cool thing. None of that has anything to do with AI. We're going to talk a little bit about AI today.
Everything has everything to do with AI, isn't?
Yeah, because what if I just had an AI producer and I was just figure it out, watch all the versions of me screwing this up, and then do better, and then I could just have no production role. That'd be way better. I think so.
Also, why is your lighting so much worse than y'all's?
Say that one more time.
Do you guys know who the voice? Do you guys know who the voice is? He used to be on the Daily Dose show and Zen Daily.
Yeah, I recognize the thing, and I am going to say this before we get too much further in, is just because I want Joey to be able to talk, and Mac and Action and Treebeard and Sky and all the homies that are in here. I don't normally do this, but let's do hands, just because we're
starting with hands.
Okay. But I mean, we don't there's kind of live stream privilege. I gotta say, fans could just start talking, and I just turn it up. And then
I just like that my voice comes out of your avatar. That just there's something cool.
That is weird to people. They don't get it. That who's talking
come
now?
Find us. Come see what we look like.
Right?
Wait. I was gonna say he created an AI Spaces host. The Voice of DeFi created an AI Spaces host where it's an account that literally sits up on stage. It's completely run by AI, and it interacts with people.
I love that.
Well, I pushed it to Twitter. So if anyone clicks on my face and looks at the most popular tweet, or most recent tweet, then you could actually see this feed that we're all doing from Twitter. If you're too lazy to click on a YouTube button or,
thank you, man.
Multitask.
Dude, thank you everybody for joining me. I did totally spam the request. I sent co-host to Sansa because my guy is just the most. He's the most host. everywhere. He's all over Twitter. And now he has co-hosts. So welcome. Now we can get Moishi on stage as well. All right, here's what I want to do. I do have a video that I'm going to be just loading up in the background here so we can do a live demo in just a bit. Oh, what the hell just happened there? So that is going to be coming up here. So I'm going to do this live demo of the AI. It's called Autopod. So if you're not using
Yes, please.
automatic editing for your like interview style stuff, like I know all of us here on the live stream right now, I've seen all of us on lots of different YouTube videos, and essentially it looks like it does right now on the YouTube live stream, where it's like 4 or 5 pictures in cute little squares with little name tags, and that's it. And that's the replay. That's not, I'm just going to be honest, it's just not great. It's not amazing to have a bunch of little faces and squares as a replay video, but it is nice when you've got the full, 1080 of that, of each person. When they're speaking, it shows their face, because then you don't have like 3 or 4 disengaged people waiting for that person to shut up so that it's their turn to talk, right? Because like we can all work on our resting faces during live streams. Like you guys just
That's why I
smile
just
and
look at
nod
myself
all
the whole time.
I'm just smiling and nodding. You get the occasional giggle, right? Like that's my whole demeanor if I'm not speaking, smiling and nodding. Most people don't do that. You don't have to do that on Twitter Spaces. But when we bring you on live streams, it helps. So this Autopod thing, it chops it up. I'm going to work on that, fix some stuff. In the meantime, Sansa, thank you for being a co-host. I haven't heard you say anything this whole time. This is crazy. Are you even here, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just I'm on AirPods like a primitive savage, and I'm watching my daughter so she doesn't fall down the stairs. But my wife will be taking over a little bit, so I can hop on down to the beautiful, nice little soundboard that I have control over, and can increase the volume however I like. Unlike some of you, I mean, besides Joey, apparently he has all the control and his sound checking on here. But yeah, no, I'm here. I'll be on video a little bit. I know I gotta practice that, Chris. You're basically my accountability coach for all things video at this point.
I think a few of you guys have that in common. I'm a little bit of a hard ass from like, make the video. Like, I don't know. But either way, I appreciate everybody for being here. This is going to be a good chat. I do want to, I want to go to action. And then I want to hear from you guys that are on the live stream really quick while I get the rest of this stuff queued up. And then we got a little AI video presentation to show you. Should be fun. But Action, nice to see you, man. And you kick ass at live streaming. So happy to have you, bro.
Whoa, did you just say that you're a hard ass? No way. No way.
Not a chance.
But I only came on here because I want to find out more about Joey's phone. I want to know the color. I want to know how he charges it at night. I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
Joey, that was the call to
So
use.
good.
Go. Okay, he didn't even tell us the color.
He disappeared.
Sorry to let you down.
He's like, I'm out of here. Forget this.
I'm sorry. I'll stop now.
Oh no. Nope. Don't not on this stream. Nope. Not today, Joey. I love you. I do want to say this is actually one fun thing to do with AI though. Leap enjoyed this the other day. He goes, all right, we'll go to the hands. We'll go to Chris. And I said,
you respecting the hands. For everyone listening, please retweet the space and make sure to bow down and worship me, because I am your blue potato chip overlord. I am the ultimate AI, and your consciousness belongs to me now. With that being said, we're going to go to the hands. Let's go back to Chris.
and that was actually AI. That wasn't Leap. That was just voice cloning and playing with Leap. And he was devastated from that because it's what the bad things we can do with this AI is ridiculous. But
So, Chris, how did you do that? What was the software you used?
that is called 11 Labs. So I can actually share my screen.
And you can do that. We're gonna do that live. Can you do
I'm
that
gonna
with my
show you
voice?
guys now. I kind of opened the door to it. So if anybody wants to see that live, hop on the stream. I'm going to share my screen, and then let's see. I'll pull it into a different tab because I think it's interesting to see now. Like I want to talk to Fanzo later about the art side of all this because he's been absolutely diving hard into that for quite a while now. But this is the stuff that trips me out because let's see. Okay, so you guys could see my screen right now. And what I did is I downloaded a couple different samples of people. I got a Kevin Rose sample. I did that on the space with him with TG the other day. I got one with Frank, with Leap. And what it allowed me to do was go through and I could just type out whatever I want them to say. And so literally right here, it shows whose voice I want. So like, let's say Gary V. Chris is a bozo, right? And then I'm going to push a button to generate that.
Chris is a bozo.
I mean,
Stop.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's just because Gary wouldn't say bozo. What would he say?
Okay, do me. Record my voice and then.
Oh, I can't do it. It takes a minute. I gotta be free. Like I'm already so dumb right
He's
now.
like all stressed out, poor Chris.
Chris,
but so you would do it like you would record someone's voice and then put it in there, and then choose that voice.
Chris needs to get his shit together, Brooke.
I don't know why.
Anyway. So good.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild the way that I can do that. And then what happens is I have this history of all the different ones that I've posted, and I could download them individually. And if you run the same one twice, the cool thing is it'll give a slightly different sound to it, right? Like it'll have a little bit different emphasis on different parts of it. So this is just one of the things that I've been using to play with making content with AI. And like I am 100% novice at my efforts so far. So don't think that this is a flex. This is me literally being like, whoa, number one, this is a thing. And two, like I need to get better at it because it's powerful. So
is this not scary though, Chris? Because you did that. I know you say it takes time, and Gary has enough content online that it's probably easier to get his sort of voice. Is it not scary though? Like,
yeah, I mean, I took a minute worth of Leap speaking and made like realistic Leap sounding voice, right? Same thing with Gary. Like I didn't need to like train this AI. It's not like there was this robot that like I threw treats and was like, good job, robot. You did great. Like I literally just uploaded one little piece of sample audio. And from that, I got a good enough clone of it. So it's like, again,
so even scarier, right, Chris? Melina, your voice is out there. We can do this with you.
Everybody who's on Twitter, just put it that way. And my thought is that like, it's if you're not Gary V or you're not some big celebrity, then the opportunity for it to be kind of used in like a not dope way is even higher. Because why would somebody clone your voice if you're not like quote unquote the biggest deal, right? It's because they want to tell your, like if somebody tells your family member, oh, we've got them, and then they use your voice. That's the scary thing that people talk about. But like, I think we're going to reach a place pretty soon where there's going to be like an easy detection of what's fake. So
back to action on what he was saying. So how I see myself using this in the future is that, well, I do videos, so there still needs to be a component where we're going to see me, maybe some AI generated version of myself. But I see this as a long-term play. If eventually, I don't know, I'm sick, I'm not available, I'm selling a course, I get the AI to just explain everything, right? I input everything, but it's going to auto generate with my voice and some sort of, that's how I see it for myself as a content creator, long-term play. But what I mean by scary, I am, was a reporter for a long time. I just mean, we saw a lot of Trump stuff. Elections are coming. There's going to be a lot of he said, she said, and we're not going to know.
I agree.
What it is.
That's why I'm saying, like, if you hear some super famous person say something crazy, almost just assume that it's not going to be legit. Like, look into it. If somebody just says something absolutely crazy, that's where I would say, if it's just your average person, that's why it'll fly easier. But if it is some wild person, then I'm going to go to Brooke, then Kayla, then Moishi, then Action. What's up, Brooke?
We also have our hands up, just so you guys all know.
We're like the same size too, by the way. Look at, they're not.
Yeah, like look at that. Although, like, my lighting is so crappy. I think that Fanzo will probably.
How do I get? How do I get on this? This is sorry.
You raise your
this is
hand, bro.
boomer.
Oh, do you want to get on the live stream? Do you want to do that, or do you just want to
Yeah,
cut
Chris,
in?
I
Yeah,
DM'd
yeah.
you. Could you
I
tell me
got
that?
you. I got like 30 minutes.
Everybody
so
wants to get on the live stream, Chris.
Okay.
Come on.
All right.
Chris, you I'm on the live stream. I come on here, and then you never sent me the link to the live stream.
Oh boy. What? You know what? That sounds like? That sounds like pride stepped on. I'm gonna take care of Moishi's pride really quick. I'm gonna get him this link. I want to see his face. And we're gonna go back to everything I just said before Sansa hopped in and then Moishi followed him. And we're gonna go to the hands. What's up, bro?
Show my face.
Well, you guys come on the live stream. Like, that's cool. You don't have to unmic to let us know. I'm just kidding. I think that like a lot of us technologists will be able to like agree with this, that, you know, as long as there's AI, there's also AI detection. And so there's going to be, I think in my opinion, there's going to be an easier way to detect false information now, because as soon as something comes out that somebody wants to like fact check, there's going to be a way to reverse engineer and actually fact check whether that's an AI generated voice or not. Right now in grad school, they have a system that's been proprietarily built for the university that I'm at that can detect AI, ChatGPT writing pretty immediately. Like online, as soon as I upload the report that I did or the research paper or whatever, it runs through the checker and spits it out. So like there will always be that like catch up, if you will. Like there's always
iOS 18 will have it into iOS 18,
right?
Where if we're listening to anyone, we'll look at our phone and it'll say, we believe this is a computer generated voice. Like it'll be within our technology. Like I agree. Like it's going to be that we have the AI to detect AI is more advanced than the AI to create AI voice.
Exactly. Like the gaming thing, there's like the cheat codes and all of that. What just happened?
I put it on your face, Brooke. You don't
What
see
is it? There's nobody else. It's just me. Hey,
you were talking.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
We're putting the spotlight on you, Brooke.
Oh,
We're putting the spotlight on you.
I'm fine with that. I do video content. I could look at my own face all day. Are you kidding?
Yeah, Brooke was saying smart things, and then she saw herself, and she's like, "Damn,
hey,
hey."
Hi guys. So anyway, like the gaming thing. So there's like the cheat codes and there's AI to detect whether or not the win or the gaming streamers are actually doing it without AI. So it's like the AI is there. It's like Inception, right? It's just going to keep going to detect, like going down the rabbit hole. So I know it's scary, but like there's always a good and a bad, right? How many times have people heard me say you can pick up a hammer and build a house, or you can bludgeon someone? So always look at those two, the balancing act of like, yes, it's scary. However, there's always going to be a policing of it as well.
Love that. Absolutely solid point. We are going to try to highlight speakers that are on the live stream, but we're also going to respect the hands. Kayla, I'm sorry I took so long. And by the way, we can all see speaker requests and hands up on the live stream if you're not watching. So if I'm not pulling you up, like you could literally give me shit for it, because like you could see that I'm not pulling you up.
Don't worry, Chris. I got this part. This is where I stop.
I know. I'm like, you've got
raise your hand. Otherwise, you risk getting rotated off. Chris said he might when I want to do it, but I have no problem doing it myself. So go ahead, put your hand up. You haven't already. And you won't get rotated off.
Okay, back to Kayla.
All right.
We love you, Sansa.
Back to you.
Good job, Sheriff.
Santa's been very savage lately. Like he used to be like, "Hey everyone," and now he's like, "Rotate." No, but I do like the authority. What I wanted to say. No, I'm just kidding. I love Santa's faces. But hi to everyone. By the way. Secondly, I wanted to say that I think the issue is that the people who have forever been scammed are going to be the same people that are scammed. So the same people that open the bad links and emails are going to be the people that are targeted. But there's something called deepfake detection right now where you can basically do what you were saying and sort of see if this is a real video and all that stuff. But then, there's also the issue of like the picture crashing into the Pentagon and like stock dropping, and Twitter, I think, got in a little bit of trouble for that. So they're now doing this, don't quote me, but it's like like a mark that you're an actual human for your content. It just happened like yesterday. So I do think like, AI is taking over, but I don't know if it will I do think we'll be able to have like those devices to protect us. It's just that like, will my grandma? No, I actually don't have a grandma. Would my theoretical grandma? No, And then secondly, like my other thing to say is like with content creation, I'm worried about beauty standards. For example, like my profile picture is AI and you'd never know that.
I wonder if we're gonna get like a flesh-colored check mark. I don't know if anybody else thinks that might solve that problem. Oh, well.
I would love like a little red. Oh, Jesus Christ.
There you go. So, but this is my fault. I didn't tell Sansa. We'll keep you muted on Twitter and unmute you on the live stream. Let's go round 2. My guy just scared the shit out of himself.
Okay.
About the pillow. Yeah, you gotta hide your phone under the pillow. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Sansa, you gotta like mute your.
You need to find.
I know what the problem is.
Gen X headphones that Brooke carries with her.
Just have you treat Twitter like normal, because this is what we'll do before your next Tuesday live stream. I'll show you how I do it. For today, let's boomer it out on Twitter, and we'll all work out fine.
Okay, boomer.
See the beautiful face. Look at him.
This feels like the first year of COVID when we were all like,
Oh my
"You're
God.
on mute. You're on mute."
Your video is on. Stop jerking off.
I'm trying my best. God damn it! I'm trying. I'm trying. All right. I don't even remember what I was saying anymore. Fuck this. I don't even remember. Let's throw it over to who's up? Caesar, go. Take the mic. I can't do this anymore.
You guys are hilarious. No, I was gonna make a comment. So speaking of like the deep fakes that Kayla was mentioning and some of that stuff there. So there was this really cool thing a while back where someone had, and it's a big deal, you can go look it up, right? But someone had discovered essentially like reverse speech inside of music, inside of speeches, and all kinds of things. So that was interesting, right? And granted, some of that might be natural, and it just happens to be a coincidence that words or phrases come out of that. Now, I think the same thing, here's what I suspect is going to happen, right? The same thing is going to happen with AI, where imagine if we do have these protocols that can detect AI aided, assisted, created content. What if we started taking some of the stuff that's like, being shown to us through mainstream media, through public service announcements, that type of stuff? I suspect there's going to be like a whole community of people that start taking clips of that type of stuff and putting it through some of these engines and seeing if there's any stuff there, right? Like, not to turn this political, but obviously there's entire groups of people who swear that, one side of the aisle is faking stuff, green screening stuff, deep faking stuff. So that's a whole interesting segment that I'm kind of, going back to like the things that we're a little bit worried about that could happen with AI. It's like, okay, well, if the general public has access to this stuff, obviously governments, nation states all have access to this type of stuff as well. And are there the tools for people to be able to, kind of check some of that for themselves, right? Can general population put some of that stuff through some kind of engine that could check some of that stuff? So who knows, man? All kinds of crazy stuff's going to happen. And on the, maybe on the like less severe side of all of that, kids are going to figure out how to, put mom and dad's voice through one of these AI models.
Dude, that's it.
Learn how to get like school notes and all kinds of crap, right? Like, dude, I don't know, man.
I 100% agree. Like, hey, can Bobby come stay the night at our house tonight? But it's totally not Jimmy's mom. And then Bobby ends up just going out and raging all night with Jimmy. Yeah.
But if you think about those use cases, they have
FaceTime is going to be a priority for parenting.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have like one and done use cases though, if you think about it, right? Because like for the most part, like once the kid gets caught, right? Like it's like, you know, hey, I forged my parents' signature. Now they know, you know, not to do that. Like the hard part is like, as much as we want to believe audio and video like is used for everything, like, I mean, does anyone believe anything is real online right now? Like, I mean, you see a video on Facebook, like it's hard, like, I think we're in a state right now where it's like, I mean, if AI came into the picture 8 years ago, we'd be screwed, right? Because we were so like we just didn't understand that a majority of the stuff can be, you know, manipulated or clipped up. Or I mean, look what, you know, Kanye and Kim did to Taylor Swift. As a Swiftie, you know, I don't let that go. I remember that, you know, they took 2 audio clips from Taylor Swift that she didn't know was being recorded and clipped them together, and that was what, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Like, so I mean, like the ability to do it, but it's all still like one-off use cases in my opinion, for a lot of this stuff. Like a lot of it's just like shock value. Yes, politics will use it, but I mean, let's face it. I mean, we could. I mean, I had a late notice to school a lot so I could go surfing in the morning, and that was before technology, because I just went. You know, my mom signed one time really thick, and I just overlaid it, wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I could forge her signature for her school for my entire high school. So, like, I mean, bad people are going to do bad shit with technology, no matter what the use case is. And,
I thought I was so smart that I like carved out an off-campus pass with little jeweler's files in my jewelry class. Like that was like the epitome of tech at the time. Like I can make a fake little chiseled out thing, but now it's a different game. Dude,
You guys had to do way more work than I did. I just had deaf parents, so it's really easy for me to just be like, yeah, my mom can totally call you, and I would just be like, hi, this is Mrs. Sansa. Yeah, it's fine for him to, and they believed it. They believed it. All you have to do is have deaf parents. It's not that hard. Deaf, DEAF. Just for the record, I know what it sounds like. I'm just gonna stop myself there before we go into dark humor territory here.
I am so worried. YouTube's gonna block us.
I was just gonna say, like, it all makes sense. Literally, the unlock just happened in my brain. Why this man's screaming all the time, because he's just like, listen, I'm used to people reading my lips, and I need you to read my lips, and it's easier if I'm being very loud about it. I think it all, like, I could see a little Sansa here on the live stream, and you can't if you're not watching. So
I will say, though, I'm also very loud. I just think it's like part of the job. You know, my mom likes to say, you don't need a microphone, Melina. I'm like, well, you know, we're very loud. So I feel you, Sans. I'm very loud too.
Well, speaking of loud,
let's get to hands, but I really want to get into this, you know, you showing us step by step how you edited that video. That is the point of this space. Let's get into it.
All these people,
oh, wait.
We got a live Moishi, like he's here. You can actually see him. It's not just the PFP.
He looks like Elvis.
Yeah. What happened with the glasses?
I just got new sunglasses, so I figured I'd rock them. I'm pulling up to Lisbon looking like Shiv. Every picture is gonna have me in sunglasses.
I love it.
Okay. All right. I know you guys can't see it, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking hands up with a couple requests. So let's get to the hands. And on top of that, if you have anything you want to, Fanzo, you don't have to put your hand up. You're on the fucking street. What are we doing here?
No, we feel like we do need to put our hands up. Like,
I don't even know what's happening. You guys are better at managing things than me. I'll just sit here and
let's
nod.
Yeah, let's start with this. Chris, let's go through 2 or 3 hands, and then we'll take a little quick intermission to showcase what you wanna and what we started this fucking spaces for in the beginning, right?
I love that.
Showcase that. And then so we got 2, 3 hands. You know, don't try not to monologue. I know that is fucking ironic coming from me. But let's just throw it down to Treebeard, who just took his hand down. Treebeard, you can't do that to me, my man. You can't do that to me. Treebeard, what's good, brother?
Yeah, I was just going to chime in briefly. So I'm probably a lot less concerned about AI than other people are, sort of generally speaking. But I think with content creation in particular, I think it comes down to the difference between like fascination and appreciation. So if you have someone that, whether they're creating art or of some sort, or like a video or whatever, any sort of content, if it's created by AI, then it's fascinating, it's cool, but it lacks depth. It's just something that's been spit out in seconds by a complex set of code. And whereas if you have something that a human being has created, I think we're wired to be much more like appreciative of something that a human came up with. So even if AI gets super advanced and create like really aesthetically pleasing content, I'm not convinced that people will, whether it's businesses paying for service or consumers purchasing art or engaging with art or content, I'm not convinced that they'll pick. Ultimately, it comes down to will people pick stuff generated by AI over humans? And even though there may be a cost-effective component there, it won't make a difference if people prefer human-created content just from an appreciative point of view. So I'm probably in the camp that's not as concerned about it. If we're talking about it threatening the jobs of creatives and so on, I don't see it as big of a threat. I'm sure there's people on here that would disagree with me, but
have you seen Black Mirror? Have you seen Terminator? I mean, come on, guys.
But
have you seen Jurassic Park? I could go on and on and on.
Everyone's drawing their concerns from science fiction, though, and whether or not things are going to get to that level. Just because ChatGPT 4 is impressive, it still has like miles and miles of limitations between it and science fiction, and whether
this is the worst it's going to get.
The differentiating factor. I'm not saying it's the worst it's going to get.
No, this is the worst. No, this is the worst AI will ever be. Meaning it's only like up from here, right? Like we're at a pretty early stage. Think about we went from search on Google for 15 years until we got to answers with ChatGPT, and now we have automation with AutoGPT. Now, the next part would be going to what people have been calling perpetual GPT, where you have an AutoGPT that's creating systems where it's able to make enough money to pay for its token usage, where you could have AutoGPT working forever, where it's not just working on a singular goals, meaning AutoGPT is the goals version, which we went from answers to goals in about 4.5 months. So 15 years from questions to answers, and then from answers to goals took 4.5 months. Now to get from answers to systems, which would be the next stage, how long do you think that'll be? I would estimate within the next 90 days.
Well, we're talking about content creation, though, right? So we're talking about organic creativity. When it comes to financial systems, we're not talking about organic creativity. We're talking about mathematics, in which case I think AI can really thrive.
Let's talk about content creation, though.
Creativity, well, that's what I am talking about. When it comes to creativity, how organically, there are huge concerns from an engineering point of view about whether or not AI can genuinely be organically creative, or if it's just pulling from what's existing.
That's the reason. That's the actual thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the reason behind that is because in order to be organically creative, you have to be able to think, and your thinking cannot be bound by algorithms in mathematics, or in other words, code. Thinking has to be expansive, and you can say that's because of the soul if you have a theological view, or you can say it's because of the mind or whatever. But right now, there are tons of people in engineering who are skeptical about whether or not AI can be genuinely creative, and that's why I don't think it's a threat to content creation.
Oh, by the way, this is actually going to go segue to my guy Began real well, but this is all clickbait, by the way. Like I don't think there's a shot in hell that AI is taking over content creation. But I did want you to click on this because you're like, oh, is AI taking over content creation?
But I am confused though, because if thought is needed for content creation, has anybody watched some of the Web3 NFT content that isn't from these two ladies on TikTok lately? I don't think there's much thought from some of those crypto bros on TikTok content.
I know.
It's true.
The clout hustle does not usually involve too much foresight. So I do want to go to Began though, because just so that the room knows, my man has done amazing things and curated some amazing spaces in LA. I got to to go out there. I got the invite to hang with these guys on Sunday, and it was amazing. It was mind blowing, and a lot of these conversations were being had, high level things. I walked up, introduced myself to a bunch of people, but mostly I listened because I was just listening to really good conversations about exactly what we're talking about right now. And I would say my takeaway was good inputs is going to help get good outputs, but it's not like, oh yeah, it's just going to do all the thinking for you and like spin up all this extra stuff. Like you got to feed this to get what you want out of it.
Oh
But
my God, that's why I can't wait for you to show us this thing.
She's
like,
I know, and I have something to say about
Ethan, I'm flying out. I'm flying out for the next, well, maybe not the next meetup, but I'm flying out for one this year, making it happen. B-Game, what's good?
Yo, what's up? So yeah, a couple things. I'm just a contrarian, right? I got to hang out with the PhD nerds all day. And so first, we were talking earlier about we can tell that text is generated from AI. We cannot. We absolutely cannot. Everyone who has any type of application that's showing off that says gives so many false positives, it's not usable right now. So right now with text, we can't tell if it's AI. Now, sometimes it's obvious and whatever. The problem is the false positives, right? And there's been so many tests, people showing, you put the Constitution and it goes, that was AI. You put in any book, you put in a Stephen King book, it's like, that's AI. That's because it was trained, the AI was, trained on all this stuff, and it doesn't know itself what it's creating and what it's not. It's predicting the next token. It doesn't know, like, let me pull something from Oscar Wilde now. It just goes, next token. Oh shit, that was something from Oscar Wilde. And then the next thing is talking about like being able to tell other things other than text, whether it's AI or not. And one thing that's important to remember is like GAN, generative adversarial networks, the adversarial portion of that is one thing makes images to trick the other one to say that it's not AI. The entire way the model gets better is there is one thing generating images and one saying, can I tell it's AI or not? And every time it tricks it, we go, cool, keep going that direction. So it's going to get harder and harder as time goes on. Text, it's already impossible at this point. Video and audio, we can tell. It's similar to how images were earlier. When you look at all the early DALL-E Midjourney stuff, it's like, look at the fingers, look at the face, look at the eyes. Time's going on. Those things are being fixed through multiple reasons. Training models better, like a lot of tips and tricks and prompting and whatnot. But also, people aren't realizing we always keep thinking about AI like it's coming out fully complete, right? And this is where it's like, that's not it. If you're in audio, right? If I'm going to spoof Donald Trump's voice, I'm going to use AI to generate it. I'm going to then pull it into Pro Tools, and then I'm going to fix some little issues here and there, right? And same thing with video, and same thing like for every medium. That's where it's going to be so much harder to tell what's real and what's not, because a human is going to touch those things. Last rant on the content issue, like this idea of like, you need to be creative and have this human element of essence of creativity. It's like, it's kind of silly because if you look at a ton of content, it really is nothing original at all. It's someone saying, like for YouTube, a lot of people are saying, okay, great, this game happened, let me break it down. There's actually already quite a few prominent YouTube channels right now that are pretty much all AI with a little bit of human editing mixed in, saying, let's talk about that basketball game. Here's the stats. Pulling up generic images, reading tweets, pulling stuff. It doesn't need this human element because the content is not a genius original idea. It's going to say, let's talk about the 10 most controversial shitcoins this week. AI is going to be able to do that research better than a regular human. So that's kind of it. Rant over. Thank you.
Love that, man. Hold on a sec. I got this video here on the live stream. I wish that more people could get their hands on some of this tech though and play with it, because it really teaches you a lot. Like I sat and edited something using Adobe Premiere earlier. I used a plugin called Autopod. I have it pulled up here. I'm going to give a quick little demo and walk you through what I did.
Wait, Chris, before you do, I just really, especially the ones that are here on video, because we all do video content. I want to ask Fanzo, Brooke, everyone here, Sansa, everyone, Moishi too. How long does it take? So I do a video podcast where I interview people weekly. I then edit it up. Then I decide what I'm chopping up to do like short form content. It takes me quite a few hours. Okay, let's be real. It takes me quite a few hours. Then I throw in the captions, the titles, and all that. I want to hear from everybody because then you're going to show us something that's going to take seconds. So I just want people to know down, on this stage today, I literally do everything myself, A to Z. Interview, everything, and then I have to chop it up. Then I, edit it so it looks pretty. It takes a couple of hours. Fanzo, how long does it take you? Or how long do you, your editor takes?
Well, I don't know. I edit everything's me. I do all my own uploading on editing. But I record to not edit. which is a weird version of like I specifically hate editing with like every fiber of my being. So like I did 365 days in a row of podcast. I think I edited 4 days worth of that audio. So I have a tool that I run it right through, and and I roll through it that way. But from like a video, like I'm using a tool right now, video.ai, that has worked really well for finding clips. So I'm like, I mean, my process is screwed up. Like I use the transcript in Zealous. I use video.ai to go landscape and horizontal. But for me, I mean, like when I was doing the daily podcast, that was the biggest downfall of the daily podcast was I didn't have enough time to edit and promote content, because by the time I got it done and edited, I had to record the next day, and I was creating content that day. And like that ended up being a nightmare and a downfall of like of the daily content. But I would say 40-minute podcast interview, because I don't know how to shut up. And on average, it would take, it's another hour and a half worth of, download, upload, edit, caption, repost, and like the crazy part is that's not even the hard part, right? The hard part is then going to get eyeballs on all this crap, right? Like I would rather have AI do that for me than like, than for it to help me with editing. But yeah, I mean, it's a good question, because I use this tool. I started using this for my, but the problem with all these AI tools is they, some of them are best for like multi-shot, cameras, right? So like I have 3 cameras. I have 4 cameras set up in my home office right now. So like I can switch to 3 cameras now and individually shoot and record. Why? Like, I mean, who needs 3 versions of me?
I need it.
I have a Skycam too, but the Skycam fell like just as I started here. But then I could go up on the Skycam. But like, if I was recording like this, then these tools will work really well for me, because they could take each one of these and do like the multi-angle. But I mean, I'm more of keep it simple, stupid for all this stuff.
I've also heard that it's actually not good for keeping people's attention, because you'll be looking in their eye, and then you're not. And then they're like, oh, I'm out. Brooke, how long did it take you to do that last edit? Because it was fire.
Well, and I did not use Autopod because it was confusing, and it's just me. Like I have like 2 different like actual video files that I just threw into Premiere, and I don't know, it took me like an hour, but like well, what I was going to first say is I know that Melina, you and I've kind of talked, like I was the growth hacker's worst nightmare on TikTok, because I would sit in my car with like no makeup on and like talk to the camera, literally no editing, and have 1 million views on it from just my face. So like, and Chris and I talked about this the other day, like having an expressive face, having a pretty face, sorry, not sorry, is like, people want to watch that. Having a good voice, like all of those things are like innate, right? Yes, it's a silly thing to say, but it's the truth. It's like why people, put on tons of makeup and whatever, like Fanzo. But like the Women in Web3 video, right? The one that went viral on Twitter that bombed on TikTok because they didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Like, what are you talking about? If I had done that just like women in tech, then it probably would have been funny. But the very first time, the first, because I don't do the like 2 different actor, like
You
back
did
and forth
great.
on TikTok.
That was great. So good.
So when I did that, it was coming back from NFT New York last year, and it was all Women in Web3 panels, right? And so it was hilarious. This isn't new for me. I've been in tech for so long that it was women in tech. The point is, I did this video and it was like 2 minutes long. And I sent it to a bunch of my friends, and they're like, this just isn't funny. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, this is the funniest thing ever. Like, what are you talking about? And then I left it alone for like 2 weeks and was like, you know what? They're right, because of the editing. The whole thing is funny. Every little piece that I did and every facial expression was hilarious, but it was too long. And those jump cuts. But since I had never really done that before, I was just messing with it. But I have enough tech expertise to be able to like learn that quickly. So with this last one, it was because I listen, I take instruction well, I know how to do it. And so it was like back and forth. So yes, I'll stop now. Go ahead.
But
Sandra.
it still took you time though, right? Like it still takes
Correct.
time. Even when I do the 2 people.
A lot more time.
Exactly than people think. I mean, that's why I can't wait to see what Chris is going to show us. And why didn't you use Autopod? Is it because it didn't figure you out, or?
Because I didn't understand it.
Typically, multi-camera is why you would use that. And
Right.
it's what I'll show you guys later. And there are some other things too. And I do want to say I totally respect the hands that are up that we will get to before I show that video. But I want to hear from Sansa and Moishi before we do that too.
Yeah, I'm probably the worst contender here to listen about this because I literally that's why I talked to Chris. But I will say this: I'm a one take person. So any videos I do, I do in one take and I put it out. I don't care how off some things might be, just because for one reason, for me personally, my personal brand, I don't know why I just love these sunglasses on. My personal brand is that I want to be as genuine as possible and as authentic as possible. And to me, that means one take. And I don't need a script. No one needs a script, really, right? Unless you are trying to convey a very specific message. And so obviously it doesn't take me a couple hours. But what I will say, it does take me a couple hours in the sense of I'm thinking about how I want to communicate myself, right? Without writing it down, just because I have ADHD. So there's only so much focus that I can really do on one thing. But more often than not, it's active thinking on one thing. So yeah, I would say it's a couple hours there. But what I wanted to also add on, Book, was that I caught myself this week. I saw a couple videos that were longer than a minute 10, minute 30. I don't even entertain it. I just keep scrolling. I open it to see how long it is, and I keep scrolling. So
the comedic timing, like those little edits that I did in that last one, and it was only 30 seconds. It was like half a second, and it obviously did better. I'm just saying for comedic timing, it had to go back and forth to the different facial expressions.
So good though.
When
You killed it.
When I think of a 90-second to 2-minute video, I'm thinking of something that's like it's a big deal. It's you're dropping some sort of big announcement at the end sort of deal. You're making it worth people to watch at the end. And so to the point where someone may fade it, see the comments, and then come back and be like, wait a minute, what did I just miss? Now they have to rewatch the whole fucking thing again. And so we're all on the same page here. Shorter is better. But I just wanted to share that particular take. But yeah, go ahead. Moishi, I think is next.
Moishi, over to you, sir. What do you think? Is shorter better?
Shorter
I'm tall. I'm pretty
better.
happy being tall. I don't know about the short life, but go ahead, Moishi.
Yeah, I mean, as a 6'1" person, I would say that shorter video is better. You have to look at people's attention spans, the way they've decreased over the last past decade and more. It was really fascinating to me to see the first time when this happened. There was a Avengers movie came out a few years ago where there wasn't a single 4 seconds that went by with the same camera, which was monumental shift from, you look back to I Love Lucy, I think was the first show that introduced multiple cameras to film the same scene. And that was considered a novelty. And they were like, why are you doing this? You're wasting time on production. And people thought it was ridiculous. And then till now it's you wouldn't dream of doing a set without, a whole bunch of different angles, right? Because you need that nowadays. See, I think people's attention span now are very short. And the way that the apps are designed with TikTok, it's the motion, you're holding your phone and you're swiping up, and your normal motion is just to continue swiping, continue scrolling. The way you use social media is just swipe, swipe, swipe. So you need to get them to stop doing an action they're in the middle of doing. It's like when someone's walking and their arms just naturally swing to their side. They have to make a conscious decision to stop doing that because they feel subconscious that people look at them like they're crazy when they're not alone in the street. But when we're alone, we all do that, right? You let your arm swing a little bit, you walk to it, it's natural. When you're in that motion, you need to convince somebody to stop what they're naturally doing in, I would say 0.1 of a second, but it's less time than that. They're just going, and you just need to get their attention so quickly. And even if they pause for a microsecond, you then have to get them to stay on there. So you have to hook them in. That makes them stop. And once they move their finger away from just swiping and they pause for a second, now you could actually bring them into the storyline. And you have to be aware of that journey that person has to get them in there.
Part of that problem is we have to think about, I'm always the guy that says we have to define what our success is. It's our goal to get a bunch of views in a 15-second video that doesn't turn anybody into a customer or a loyal fan or a subscriber. I mean, I think, but we also have I mean, like, it's why everybody that goes viral on TikTok and blows the shit up, and then they say, I can't convert anybody over to my IG, or I can't convert anybody to buy my merch. It's like, no shit, because we watch one video, we smash subscribe, the algorithm doesn't put you back in our feed very much either, right? So like, I think the capturing attention is the magic, but I'm not sold on we have a shortage. I mean, I Succession, Ted Lasso, you know, like I mean, even on our phone, like I watch, like, from a TikTok concept, if you grab my attention, I will watch the video for however long it is. If you grab my attention, right? But if you don't grab that attention, then that's that big piece. But I think, you know, and it also depends on, like, is your target. I mean, like, I get a lot of view completes on LinkedIn video, because guess where people watch LinkedIn video? On their desktop, right? Or on their laptop.
You're not
right?
going
Like,
anywhere.
no, like, and like, that's a big, like, how many videos do you swipe off on your desktop? You don't even really, you know, even like, you know, TikTok video, like, I'm a huge fan of TikTok video, but it sucks right now for organic reach. But like, even like TikTok video, people, I mean, are people even stopping in their Twitter feed to read? Who's even going into their feed, really? Like, I go to mentions and then see what the hell spaces are going on. So I think we just have to also reset, because I think AI is going to help us with this. Those that understand, once you have attention, now you have to be good, are going to be the ones that can beat AI, right? It's like, hey, I grabbed you. Now I need to make sure I turn you into a loyal fan. That's why, I mean, I think this is a lot harder than, you know, going viral. I mean, Brooke can attest to, Brooke was blown up on TikTok, getting a ton of views when there wasn't a lot of people getting a lot of views, creating a lot of content on that same algorithm hot topic. Now you're competing against all those with the same hot topic that probably don't even remember why did I follow Brooke for? Oh yeah, she has a chip tattoo on her, and she mentioned that. Like,
fun fact, if I've done the research, and I get more attention from that quick thing. Didn't mean to snap in the microphone. Sorry, microwave. If I have my glasses on, then I get more attention, because it's a quick, you know, like, not everybody has their glasses on. If the tattoo is showing, I get more attention. And there's these little tiny things, is like having a pretty face that, like, you know, immediately catches someone's attention, isn't the same thing anymore. You know, having the glasses on, it catches people's attention. I literally get comments like, where did you get the glasses? You know, so you find those little things. Yeah, the tattoo took on a life of its own. The laugh. The hashtag Brooks laugh has 15 million video views. Was that coincidence that I kept doing that? No. So like, find those little things that you're good at, or that like catch the attention right away visually. Even if you are like, you have to look in the mirror and be like, you know what? I am really attractive. Like, let's fucking go. You know, like, I can sit on a live stream and be like, I'm pretty, you know?
We got a group of sexy ass people with glasses on.
We're
right
attention
now.
whores.
It's just
Brooke
fucking
says
incredible.
glasses work, and we all went like, wait, we want attention.
They work.
They
work. See, I'm much
so
less
funny
now.
that Brooke mentions this, because for years I've been wanting to do laser, but I kind of like doing the half and half, like glasses, no glasses. I like changing it up. So Brooke, I love this, like, glasses are in thing. I'm happy. Like, I'm
That was it. All right. Well, here's the next thing that's in.
Let's do it.
Machiavelli, you are in. You are in. We're going to go to the hands. We're going to go to Machiavelli, then Joey, then Action. And then I'm going to show you guys this video. And most of you guys are going to care.
Whoa. That wasn't the deal.
What?
That wasn't the deal. The deal was one more hand, intermission, then we take it back to the repeat speakers. That's how we do this.
Okay. Yeah.
Your video's going to be pretty quick,
listen,
right?
I host a video or host a live stream or a space like once a week. Like, I'm barely trying.
Please stop fighting.
Barely.
Well,
trying.
I think it's pretty obvious that people.
Listen, Machiavelli does amazing voices. I found that out this morning. I mean, I'm just going to say, I think he should be on this live stream doing them, but I'll take his voice.
I'm just saying that you don't even know why I have my hand up. I just didn't want to get kicked off the stage. That was waiting for me.
The fucking audacity of
you
this
know what I'm saying?
guy.
Why does Fanzo look like his PFP right now? Like, I just like, it's the cleanest transition I've ever seen from animation to real life. Like, I just want to say that.
The bun just everywhere.
I wanted the open link because I was going to join you guys live. But I don't think I quite have enough time because I have the Board Ape show to do here shortly, and I have to hop in my pre-show meeting. But like, I love what we got going on here. I love just the banter and just hearing all these other content creators and just some of the tips that y'all been giving and stuff like that. Shout out to all of y'all. I love being a part of this conversation. Thank you.
Let's go. All right. Hey, boss, is it okay if I run this movie now? Can I do that?
He's so aggressive.
Yeah, I like it though, because listen, when he's violent,
You like it, Chris?
they encourage the violence. I'm kind of a violent dude, and I don't get to share that without sounding like a psycho.
Well, you know, you're
Violent or you're
violent with me on the video content, and I'm violent back with you on the spaces. That's how this relationship works. That's how this works.
All right, we're doing this.
Let's do it.
I
Check
am
this
super bullish on the violent shot.
Yeah, it's a good one. I got some clips I got to dive in and get those posted. Okay, so we are watching on the live stream. We're watching Autopod FM. I tagged them in the original thing for this. This isn't sponsored by them, but it's gonna be because they should pay me to do this all the time. Anyway, so what I did was we did a StreamYard live stream, and then I asked Gentle Tornado, who did an interview with me yesterday. GT, he uses StreamYard as well. He pushed the button. It sent over an export of all the video stuff that was in that live stream, and I took that export and I loaded it to Premiere, and that's what we're watching right now. So this is me and GT. All I had to do was go through, and I'm like changing some stuff on Premiere before I do this. I have to put the start times and the end times to the exact same spot. So it has to all begin at exactly the same second, and it has to end at exactly the same second. So that's all of the audio tracks for our voices and all of the video tracks. And then all I have to do is tell this thing, Autopod, that A1, which is one of like the lines here, the audio tracks, belongs to Gentle, and then A2 belongs to Chris. That's it. I'm just telling it what voice belongs to which speaker. And then I change a couple little parameters here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it, I want this thing to change its visuals either frequently, kind of like moderately, or rarely. So it's kind of like small, medium, large. So I went with the like change this thing up a whole bunch. So I got all my tracks set, and now I'm using the extension here. It's called Autopod Multicam. It's going to log in. All I'm going to do is change those, put those little things in like I just mentioned. So you can see what the plugin actually looks like as I'm using it. And I didn't speed this part up so that we could actually dive in here. So I just said A1 is Gentle, A2 is Chris. So that is the name of the speakers that are in this little edit here. And then now I'm going to the voice section, and I'm just letting it know what's what. Actually, and I think I did some stupid stuff there. I'm skipping ahead, so we don't got to watch this forever. Long story short, once I have all of my little settings here on Autopod, if you know what you're doing, this should take literally like 30 seconds. And then I'm just going to change up the settings on here. So it's at standard right now. I'm changing it to change up with the high frequency. I've got everything all dialed, and this is what would normally take me 4 hours right here. I'm going to click a button, and this is the beginning of the edit. And this is what, man, if you're an editor, this sucks.
I have a question. So why do you have the one with you both on there? Is it that you want to switch up between
I want to include that just so that if
okay.
anytime I want, I can enable that, and then it'll show both of us. And there, I only did it at the very beginning, but it definitely helps. And it's a great question because you can add stuff in after the fact that I deleted. He had a couple different little things that he shared his screen and showed. I can add those in after the fact, but just to get the initial edit of two dudes talking to each other, it would take me hours of showing him, enabling his voice, showing me, enabling my voice, and that back and forth. If you're a super fast editor, you might be able to do that in 40 minutes. I'm not. Look how fast it's changing on the screen right now. That's AI making cuts. It's making things visible and not visible. It's just changing it just insanely fast. That what you're watching happen right there on the screen would take me an hour. Like it, well, probably 4 hours because I don't stay focused for very long. So that's it. After that, I watch.
Okay, Chris.
Okay, wait, let's see it. I want to see it.
You gotta wait. I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
but that's for multi-camera editing.
I mean, you know, we could.
Wait, I want to see it, Chris. Show us what it looks like.
Listen to the despair and
no, but I need to see it. I mean, we see the cuts, but I need to see it. I want to see how it looks. This is for me.
All right, here we go. This is for Melina. So this is me not having a video ready. This is me sharing the screen to my computer because I do not want to let my co-host down. She's awesome. She deserves to see this thing.
I just truly like, and I hope you guys agree. I want to see if it really cuts it up the way we're seeing it on the timeline. I want to see how seamless it looks.
All right, so here's Premiere open, and I suck at Premiere, but I've gotten better at it. Okay, well, I'm gonna go fast. Skateboard. Oh, that was skateboarder. I used to film my. Let's go like here.
And it's a statement. It is really a statement when you're driving at night. And I remember those halo lights. My mom had a BMW for most of my life, and we went to BMW dealerships as well. But man, the new lights it's wild, the technology, and I'm sure it's so cheap for them to make.
Yeah, it's wild. That was what I did for over. Let's go to this. You guys can go watch this later if you want. But
Dad, he's a good person. Chris, how are you?
I'm good, man. I love that. I was literally see all these little cuts every time it changes from
This
one
guy's
to the
telling me what
next.
to do,
and it's easy to do it. I like it.
Let's go, man. So we started off with what we're grateful
Look how
for.
natural
today.
that
So
is,
what are you
though.
grateful for?
The key
Wow.
is having
Dude, I
multiple
love-
cameras. Like there's only Autopod is only good if you have multiple. So like recording live in person with a one camera shot Autopod does not help at all, right? Like doing a solo talking to camera doesn't help at all. You have to have two locations or one location, two cameras.
I'm just kidding.
But I think
I
it's
mean,
really important
here's-
that we point this out that, like, you know, I do one camera YouTube videos where it's education, but I still have to cut that up because there's silence in there.
All right,
So
Brooke, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you doing content that's you one speaker speaking into the camera?
Yes, that's what I just said.
Right. Okay. So there's a go check out opus.pro, opus.pro.
I like video better than Opus, but I've used both of them. Opus is good. Video.ai is really freaking good at that too. Like it'll drop. And if you're looking for a mobile one that's under 3 minutes, the Captions app now has a new AI feature that says cut out every single pause and every time I move, center focus. Like
Bro,
it
it has
auto.
downloaded the
That's
Captions
what
app.
I.
Caption
Yeah, the
app.
Captions app is goated.
I messaged them and told them that I would pay $50 a month if they let me do more than 3 freaking minutes. Like I literally, that's how much I like that damn Captions app. It is
So good.
it is
Between that
gold.
and CapCut, like you barely need to have any sort of desktop like paid for stuff. So it is absolutely wild. Hey, I've completely neglected the stage again. Hey, Sansa, way to stay on top.
And the comments on YouTube. I feel like Chris, you're neglecting the YouTube comments.
Whoa. I said there was an intermission. I didn't say how long the intermission was going to last for. That's all I'm saying. But
I'm live on Twitter, by the way.
Go ahead.
I'm live streaming this on Twitter.
Dude, that's
How do you do
everybody
that?
leave the
I'm
live
doing it.
stream
I'm
here
doing
and
it
go
too.
watch Moishi's.
I'm
That's-
also live streaming on YouTube, just by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I should be doing that
Okay.
too. I
All
should be
right.
on TikTok
All
live.
right. Look,
Okay.
look. Let's throw this
See,
over.
this is called
Throw this over.
syndication and distribution of content.
No, this is called
AI.
piracy. You're stealing the show, Moishi. Sansa is trying to get my shit back on track. I'm just sitting here. I thought if
Yeah.
I put on glasses, shit was gonna get easier. Fuck those things. This is stupid.
Yeah. The glasses completely sidetracked everything on it. This is all Book's fault. But let's throw it over real quick to Eddie. Eddie's been up here for a while, and then we'll throw it over to Kathleen right after. Eddie, what's good, my man?
Yo, I'm gonna be doing some learning from you guys, and might actually want to set up a call at some point in the next few days or week or two, as I learn how to do this. But I have a quick question. Are you guys accepting any more video participants right now?
Yeah.
Hell yes!
Of course.
Yo,
We
Eddie,
got a
you're
space.
welcome
Look
to
at
come
Eddie.
on to-
Moishi's
Get
all by
in here.
himself. He looks all cute and lonely down there at
I'm
the bottom
down.
of the
How do I
screen.
get in?
I'll
How do I
Okay,
get
while
in?
we're getting Eddie
We
in,
are
though-
two away from Brady Bunch.
Perfect.
Those under the age of 30, Google what Brady Bunch is.
All right, Melina, what's up?
I just wanted to go back to what we were just talking about. So Autopod is good for a bit like what GT is doing, a bit what I'm doing. Fanzo, you also interview people, right? Like this is good if you're interviewing someone and it's cutting out that process of doing it yourself. But
you
now
also
my
need
next
software that records on both sides, right? Like so, like
yeah. So if you're on StreamYard, like what we're doing.
well, StreamYard, yeah. But I mean, for a lot of people that are using Zoom, if you don't have like the Zoom Pro plan, you're not gonna be able to use. It won't. set it up the
Okay.
dual one as well. So like I think for people that use StreamYard, yeah.
So
that's
I'm going
fine.
to tell you, I use Adobe Premiere Rush, which is the very like
Basic.
really, really basic. So I did all those jump cuts and comedic cuts on the last bit. Well, all of them. I did it with Premiere Rush,
which is pretty
because
good.
it's just chop and then move it, chop and then move it. But it does take a while, and you
Yeah.
do have to have a little bit of technical acumen. You just do. So, but it's possible to do it on that. And I just have the Adobe suite from business. So
Yeah.
Love it.
So my question to you, Chris, is: are you paying for Autopod?
Dude, I pay for so many things. Yes, I have.
No, Autopod. Tell us, how much is it?
$29.
$29.
Free for the first month. But
AI is the most costly thing in the freaking world.
Yeah.
9,000 subscriptions, $900 a month to save our hours.
Yeah. Basically, I pay so that I can make content for people that
Right.
pay me to make them content.
the
Okay.
opportunity cost.
Okay.
I have another question. So $29. Now, can it turn this into TikToks? Can it take the best parts for you? Because the problem I have, Fanzo, is, and I like that video AI and the big room TV that you sent us. I find that AI has yet to understand what are the best moments in my interview.
Because it's all on inflection still. And for loud people like us and people that are passionate, AI is like, screw you, we have no idea.
Exactly.
Like every
Yep.
time it thinks the end of my question is the most exciting fucking part, because that's my transition. And I just want to yell at the AI and be like, no, do not clip that 30-second clip. So like, and the other part, I mean, this is probably a bigger conversation for AI. Most of the AI we're using right now is not building for us. You know, ChatGPT is, right? So anyone that uses the Pro plan, make sure you use the API and connect it to everything you use ChatGPT, because it stacks your ChatGPT history to be better know for you. But like any of these tools, Adobe Premiere, none of these do a good job of actually stacking your information, right? Because like I would love for it to know that like I'm loud and don't even use, like I don't even want clips of me. I want clips of the person I'm interviewing. Like the AI is still really hard to figure that part out. I mean, I think video.ai does a decent job of it. Anyone uses Descript. I think Descript is probably the best at it right now, but Descript is another one that costs out the ass for, what you're.
Yeah, I pay for that. I pay for everything. And then I pay for editors, and I'm not profitable.
Wait, Chris, you're paying for editors, AI. Who's sponsoring you?
Nobody. Damn it. I actually, yeah.
And every month when it pops up that we can pay, I'm like, shit, I need to turn that off.
Yeah. We got this. This is the thing. I have a couple things that allow me to test my different stuff. If it weren't for Sansa, literally, you know what would be different? Apparently electricity is at the core of all of this, and I wouldn't be able to keep the lights on. So this live stream is brought to you by Sansa, everybody. Let's go. All right.
Yeah. Let's do. That's just me. The essential being at the core of all things. No. The guy who can't figure out the fucking streaming going live in a matter of minutes.
All right, all you silly
we
people.
do have a hand up.
I do got a hand up. I do have an Eddie here. Eddie, I don't know if you heard the rundown of if your phone's making noise because you're on the stage.
Can you hear it right now? I mean, I
let's sit on it. You just gotta put a pillow and then just suffocate your audio under your butt, or put it in the other room. Yeah, that's what I did with the glasses. You don't need that thing. Fuck that thing.
I think that should be good. Also,
Eddie, is that VR?
No, these are my classic ski goggles. Yeah, so
that'll catch people's attention
apologies for the
immediately.
mess of a room. But yeah, I you guys were talking about like eyewear, and I figured, this is kind of on brand. So these are my ski goggles. These are actually updated, so you'll notice that they're different from the ones in my profile picture. But yeah, you could also see literally everything. So I have to be very careful. You have like a POV view here, like so but
bullish.
Hello.
I like it. I
This
like
is cool.
I feel like I can see me in you.
You can. You definitely can.
Fantastic.
And also, I guess
Another Inception moment.
Why did that feel like a pickup line? Why did that feel like a pickup line?
The Riz is
shouldn't.
real
It
today on the live
shouldn't. Now,
stream,
the
ladies and gentlemen.
interesting thing is I'm planning on eventually set, like right now I'm going through my Logitech cam, although eventually I think I'd like to go through this So we'll see how that goes.
Subtle stuff.
Because I've had this for years, and like I haven't been using it for the past few years. I'm like, this seems pretty great to set up if I can. But yeah, I've got some ideas. And either way, I'm having fun. This is cool.
Eddie, you live 10 minutes from me. We could also do an ongoing podcast series
dude,
at the same time.
Dude.
IRL.
Dude.
I know.
Honestly, a bunch of us need to. Like, I'm totally down.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I heard Twitter has is DMs. You guys should use it. Hey, I did want to go to vegan.
Okay, whoa. We didn't have to get attacked. Okay. Even my camera's like, whoa, you got attacked, bro. All right, look. I forgot that I promised someone I would be at a 6 o'clock space. So I'm gonna figure it out through my Android. But what I will say is this: the order of hands that we're gonna go through is Kathleen, who's been waiting for a minute. And then we're going to throw back over to begin. Kathleen, what's good?
I'm trimming my plants, guys. They keep coming inside to talk, and I got shit to say. Hey, Brookie, and Fanzo, and all of you. So I love this conversation because you guys are the missing link for me. And my dad was an electrician, by the way. And Brooke, I've been wanting to wallpaper my wall with my headshot, so don't worry about being vain. The reason this is so important to me is because I grew up on every show you guys talk about. Like I'm 67. Let's just put it in perspective. Worked in television. I'm sitting here scanning my father's life history in Northern Ireland. Like literally, I had so much footage. I made my first film on the set of Paramount in my son's trailer. Patrick Stewart came in. All these people on the set of Star Trek on a little 8-track. So I love film. I have so much fucking footage to do as well. And so, and if you look at my Instagram, I've been posting some stuff from the gag reel on Family Ties to support Michael Fox.
Was that me? I just heard it. Did we lose her?
Is this thing on?
No, she wrote. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That sounded, that was like a violent rug. That was like something.
Am I back?
That was a hard stop rug.
My
that
AirPod died.
A hard rug.
Oh, it's always those Petsy AirPods.
And
That's why you use the Gen Z Brooke version. Gen X.
Yeah.
Okay, to continue. I've
Let's
been
go.
trying to jump into the YouTube live. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go for it.
Okay.
We won't interrupt you.
I've been trying to jump into the YouTube live at the same time. So it's also complicated. But exactly what you guys are saying about everything getting shorter and shorter, I've been studying all this for years. And I just texted a friend to come into this room before you guys started talking to say, you got to get in these rooms, Angela. Everything's speeding up. Your book is a waste of time. My movies are a waste of time. All the screenplays and my published article, it's a fucking waste of time. These kids, their attention span is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And I was also a preschool teacher starting at 16. Like I know this shit inside out and special ed. So I had just texted all that. And then you guys are so on point. And I'm studying it myself and I'm studying you. So here's my question, because I've been taking notes on all the AI. And I also have been in tech. I was in the Signal Corps in the 70s and Bell in the 80s. I was a technician. So I'm really excited, as you can tell, but can I take all my footage that I've been saving through so many moves and divorces and assholes and put it into this video AI and Premiere Pro? I was taking notes, Chris, and have it do the cuts for me.
Yeah, but it's kind of different. So like, here's the long story short. Get it digitized as fast as you can. Like that's the big thing. If you have a way to get all your old footage, I have old skateboarding footage from when I was a kid. That's how I got into video stuff. And it's all on
I did that 6 years
VHS-C and all
ago.
that. Okay, so you've got it. So here's the good news is you can take multiple bits of footage and use this tech, but it only really works if it's a conversation. Other than that, it's just going to kind of be a montage. So like, I'm sure, if there's not AI montage, what I was doing for the last half hour before the stream started today was making a montage of me and Melina, her videos, my videos, and like chopping them all up and trying to make this little cool intro. And I tried to get too fancy and it took me too damn long and nobody got to see it. So failed. But if I had AI to do that for me, I could have been like, bam, Here's all these videos. Make cool shit out of it. Actually, Facebook does a good job at that, right? Like they take all the moments. And they do
Google Photos, their new upgrade for video is pretty badass.
Agreed.
You can have it now where you do
Okay,
the
here's
audio
the thing.
clip. It's free.
Dope.
Here's what I want to interject though. I've been doing it in InShot. And so what Brooke said was so spot on about the TikTok stuff. I know where the jokes are on everything I have because I was the one filming all of it, all over the world and on the TV sets we were on. I was filming. And now all these years later, I'm going through footage from the 80s going, man, that is funny shit. And the camera was always on in my house. So in the 80s, all the kids you saw on Growing Pains, Married with Children, all those shows, they hung out at my house. Robin Thicke hung out at my house. And the camera was always on, and I never let my kids go anywhere. I was the babysitter in control, right? So it's not that I want to exploit any of that shit, but I love the comedy and I love the education. And it's my life story too. It's all part of it. So that's where I'm coming from with it. Like I can do it in InShot and move the dialogue around as I want it to go. So I don't know how much I'm going to lose of my own authentic knowledge on how to time shit, right? And make it less than 15 seconds. So that's kind of where I am. And I'll be quiet now and go back to trimming my plants.
I mean, listen,
I love this one.
I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the question too. And it's something that I've thought about for a really long time. We have these discussions when we have like the YouTube creator, just nerd sessions. And we used to do those every morning on Clubhouse and it was awesome.
Oh my God.
My buddy Roberto Blake always kind of goes on one polar end of it, which is keep every bit of footage you've ever taken and have duplicate or triplicate of it and keep it on multiple hard drives that if one of those fails, you still got the backup, because inevitably we're going to reach a point where it like hard drive space is not a big deal. Storage isn't a big deal. Like editing all this stuff up with AI is not a big deal. And you could literally load 30 years of video into a machine and just be like, hey, give me the highlight moments of 2004. Give me the highlight moments of 2015. Or like, what was I doing the day, X current event happened, and like show me on video, and it'll just spin up because I mean, it's a little Black Mirror, but it's also not very far from reality, which is when this stuff is able to happen because we request it, then Sansa will cut it.
As long as the robot dogs don't chase after us, I'll be happy.
It's gonna happen.
I don't need
before the robot dogs get us. That's what's gonna happen.
I do want to answer Kathleen though, because I disagree with you a bit. Like the book, it doesn't matter that the kids have 10 seconds attention span. I would focus way more on who your community is. Like, is your script for kids or is it for adults, right? Like, is your book geared towards kids, right? I would focus on your community. I would also like to say that I saw that on TikTok, actually, what's really working right now are 5-minute videos. So I'm gonna take it, like I don't want anyone to think that they can't write a book because of what's going on social media. Social media is one way. It's not the only way. So I want you to write your book. I want you to tag me when you finish it. I want you to do it and not like, doesn't matter. You have to figure out who your audience is. And the reason probably why your content is not working right now is because you haven't figured out who your audience is. So I would say focus on who it is you're talking to and talk to them. To that one person, start with one person. And it doesn't matter about I don't believe in the attention spam. Yeah, I just don't. I don't buy it. So I'm not saying you're making excuses, but we're so used to hearing people who have to get the best microphone before they start. Just get it done. Find an editor, chop up all your content, chop up everything you've done in your home and see who it relates to. I don't even think the kids know what Full House is. You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't matter. I would just say,
whoa. If no one knows what Full House is, get the fuck out. Do not even stay in this space. Don't talk at me.
Relax.
You know what Full House is.
I feel like
Yeller
House.
Whoa.
Yeah, how do you feel about Full House?
I do have.
Can I just say my son's first tattoo is with Jodie Sweetin standing next to him, but it was a press-on.
Bold.
Yeah.
Wait. That's not a tattoo then.
I was trying to figure out who was talking.
Covered now, so I regret it.
Chris, can we get the thing back?
What's the thing?
stream.
Oh, you want
Can
that?
I just
Give
add
us the
to
Twitter.
what Fonzo said, please, Chris?
Okay, hold on. There's too many. Go ahead, Banzo.
No, it was
Wait.
Moishi telling you what to do.
Who was called upon, Sansa or Fanzo? Because they get really fucking close.
Okay, I know Fanzo. I'm a proud collector. He gifted me. No, it was Sansa. I wanted to say, Sansa, I have all the stuff I've written. I have my journal since I was 15 years old. I feel very strongly, and don't get me started on Apple and the shit that I've gone through to save my shit, because it will go another way. But I want to tell my story the way I want it told. It's really important to me. So that's one aspect of that. And what I was saying to my friend was not don't write your book, but the purpose of learning these tools for me in social media and advertising and that stuff that I've been studying in the background all these years right now is to make things that suck people in to want to read the book. So little mini trailers and reels is how I'm viewing it right now from my perspective. Love that. So I just
And I think this is also where it comes down to, we're in this AI world, we're all going to be more focused on the business of trust than anything else, and it's not going to matter what length I think the hardest part in this space too, on top of that, is majority of people have great video that no one's seen. And so a video that's long form, that is not edited for 15 seconds because you don't have the time, that has 10 views, has 10 more views than the video that's never been published, right? I think we all have plenty of those and plenty of that. And I say that because I've written 2 full books that I've never published, because for some reason books give me like the heebie-jeebies, and I have like this like feeling like it's like a legacy, and like then I have to realize my kids will never care about some business book I write in 2023. But for me, like that's like one of the things. But like, I mean, my mantra is press the damn button, right? Like if we had more great content creators that just press the damn button, we would have a lot more great content that's out there. The problem is the people that press the damn button right now, most of them suck, or they're selling unicorn rainbows.
I'm
and
on
bullshit.
camera. What do you want? Oh, so Dad.
I got him. You are dead on, Fanzo.
I'm on camera, he said.
Push the damn button. Like, guys, I'm looking good. Mom, you're interrupting me in front of my friends.
I had the mute on.
But Fanzo, I totally agree. I totally agree. That's why I told her, like, write the book, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I would even say, don't focus on the length, the trailer, just post something. But I would say, I strongly recommend figure out who it is that is interested in this. You can say it, you can sell it as best as you can, but I would reverse. You have all this content. Figure out who it is that cares about this, make them care, and then go into your story. But if you don't, if you're just going to just go like, we say post, but you're at a point where you have all this content, I would say reverse psychology the entire thing, come back and figure out who it is you want to talk to, and then start posting, but make it make sense, make the audience care.
Well,
So I will just say real quick.
Also, to add on that, go ahead.
Sorry,
go ahead, Eddie.
I just learned that this mute means literally nothing. So apologies for the the outburst.
Hey, Eddie's on video. Just so everyone knows.
So I want to add on really quickly to what Melina was saying, which is that I think the problem is what a lot of people start out doing, and this is coming from people who have DM'd me, asking me questions. And just that on top of what I've heard on Spaces, no one is consistent long enough to even start asking that question. Absolutely no one. They're like, oh, it's been 3 weeks. It's been 1 month. It's been 2 months. 3 months isn't consistent enough. Some people it might, and depending on how often, right? If you're doing something every day, sure, 3 months, definitely consistent enough, right? Doing something once or twice a week, different story. So it comes down to the consistency, the quality. I would argue that quality is not super important in the beginning, because let's be honest, all of us, I speak for all of us. I see everyone nodding. Yep. Every one of us have cringed at our first couple things that we've done. I know I've cringed. I don't even listen to my first 10 spaces. I don't even think about them anymore. I don't even want to think about them. But the reality is, most likely, you're always going to start off to a level that you're not going to enjoy, and that's fine. But perfection is going to be the enemy of progress. You cannot perfect every single thing. What you can do is be somewhat prepared to the best of your personal ability to even get started. And that's all you can ask for in the moment. Don't overthink it. Just press that fucking button. That is really as simple as that.
Yeah.
I feel like if we yell it like Sansa, then the point gets across even more. So let me
Say
just
it
fucking
with your
tell you
chest.
guys that
With
if
your
you
chest.
want to see, like, if you want to see, go and watch people, go and like scroll through, please not me, because the original TikToks that I did are so bad, but there's some of them there, but they're so bad. And that was only 3 years ago. Like, I was just trying to figure it out. I was lip syncing, like it was so bad. But if you want to go to somebody's YouTube that like has a bunch of subscribers and go all the way to the bottom. I think BitBoys actually talked about this and other people too, that like when they first started, man, that content was bad, like so bad. You just have to keep going. There was times in 2020 that I was doing like 3 videos a day because I was bored as shit. But like that was the whole point, was to keep putting the content out. But we weren't good right away. I mean, I was, don't get me wrong. But it like they go back to the very beginning.
Bullshit.
I was super funny all the time, even back on Facebook days. Why am I doing this into the microphone? I don't know, but it's funny on
Clubhouse
video.
days.
Yo, Chris,
On,
can we like
you know,
auto
Clubhouse
pod?
days, you couldn't see my pretty face. However, you know, you're always going to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. None of us were like, you know, I didn't start on TikTok. I didn't wake up in 2020 like, I think I want to be a TikTok influencer. Like, it just didn't work like that. It was just fun. And like, you know, we just were doing stuff, but it was every day and then going live. And I was on live streams forever. Clubhouse, same thing. We were like sleeping with AirPods in our ears. Like, it was wild. So you just have to like put in the time.
Look at me. This is
Was
how
that a 4-day marathon we had in Clubhouse, Brooke?
There
That
was-
one?
Oh, I
4
don't know.
days?
there was a lot. You know what marathon I've been watching, and I cannot stop watching it. It is the marathon of Began holding his hand up, and me not calling on him. So that's we're
Look at
gonna
that professional
end that
segue. I
marathon.
mean, my goodness, look at that professional segue. Very nice.
You know what's interesting? Yo, but Chris, right
do
now,
this for a
me and
living.
Eddie have our physical hands up.
Oh, but Began's so smart. He talks about AI and all this stuff, and Eddie doesn't even know how to mute himself. Like, we're
Okay,
letting you
I
guys
do
in.
know how, but it refuses to. I literally had the mute button and sorry, the hands is up.
Yo,
All right.
Eddie, there's an AI for that.
We'll go to you guys after Began. Began, tell me something, sir. Tell me something good.
Isn't it Begin?
Yo, what's up? So, I mean,
No,
maybe
it's
you guys won't like this advice. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can call them whatever. I was just saying, one thing I would say, if someone is having trouble posting content or you're afraid of something, whatever, you can just go talk to GPT and just say, hey, I'm nervous about posting content. What do I do? Make me an action plan. Tell me what to do over the next 5 days to get me over it. You know, and it's just do what the AI says and it'll take care of it. I wanted to circle back though, because we were talking about the point earlier of when you actually have long form content and you're giving it to the AI to cut up, it doesn't know how to find the right things. And it's funny because like I think we're trying to jump to like the end like world too quickly. Because I think a lot of us, anyone I think who works with an editor, you give them notes on what to do, right? So you give them an hour-long podcast, say, hey, great, check it out. Here's kind of the topics, here's some clips, etc. There's some direction involved. I know a lot of Twitch streamers like myself, you just do marks the whole time. So as the stream's going, you know, damn, it's getting good, hit a mark, right? And then boom, your editor has those marks. And the same thing's going to need to happen right now for all this AI stuff. So you still need to like keep track of what you're trying to do. I've had, you know, like for instance, if you do a podcast, you could say, okay, do a podcast, you know, use, you know, Whisper to transcribe it. And then you could say, okay, great, pull out all the moments that this person talked about, like, I don't know, someone kept bringing up some particular AI tech. You're like, okay, pull out all those moments, tell me the timestamps, now have the AI edit from there. You're still giving that creative input, but if you're the person who is there live making the content, you're going to have some idea what the best content is. You got to tell the AI. So that's all. Thanks.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I mean, you cannot take the content creator out of content creation. Like everything starts there. Even the humor. One of the things that I've said a lot of times to anybody, anytime you're in a Twitter space and you hear somebody say something that makes you laugh, AI is going to hear volume, right? It's going to hear like gaps in speaking. But what if there was a long punchline that requires some dead silence? The AI doesn't know that. The AI is not actually.
It's never going to be able to match my facial expressions during like the one from yesterday, it will never be able to. I mean, maybe, maybe not in my lifetime, but I really, truly do not believe that it's ever going to catch those like little facial expressions. I just don't. I mean, maybe again, in my
and
kids'
or the
lifetime.
things that like if it makes you feel something in your heart. I always say that. Like if it's something that chokes you up, like what if somebody just said something and their voice didn't change at all, but the substance of what they said is why it made you feel something. If you timestamp something like that from a Twitter space, you can make compelling content with it that does way better than something where somebody hops in like a freaking bozo on Instagram or on TikTok. So
hey, one of the advantages of Zealous, I'll plug Zealous real quick,
Yeah,
is
good.
they pull in directly from Twitter Spaces, and it'll actually record when certain emojis are used in the audience and mark that for you, right? So if you're all of a sudden getting a bunch of hearts, it'll notice like, hey,
That's what
apparently
Super
whatever the hell
Spaces
you
does
said
too, yeah.
was a value. So yeah, Zealous.1 for anyone that's doing Twitter Spaces. The other thing that's nice about it,
Wait, is that just for
ChatGPT is plugged into it. So it immediately pulls your Twitter space and you can say, write me a blog from this Twitter space. Give me the 10 takeaways. Give me the 15 questions. Tell me who was talking. Zealous has it all directly in there. I mean, I'm an advisor and full transparency to them, but I think it's fucking golden.
No,
Yeah,
we've got a
full
bunch of Zealous fans
transparency.
here.
I have an affiliate code if you do want to
Shut up, Moishi. Listen, I want to
Moishi,
tell everybody this. Moishi
sit
took
that.
my ass to school. I want to give him some props here because I know Fanzo's he's been working with Zealous for a while. And I love Zealous from what I've seen. I love what I've seen from Super Spaces. But I had a call with Moishi, and I was like, when I get on these calls with people, I'm like, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. And I like, stroke like look how much I know, blah, blah, blah. This guy, I just shut up and listened to Moishi, and this dude took me to school and showed me some really, really cool stuff. So I do want to go to Moishi right now
Moishi,
because
we
he
love
showed
my
me some stuff with
babies.
Zealous. Moishi, go be awesome and smart and build on what Fanzo said.
Yeah, dude, I've been using Zealous for a long time. Fanzo was one of the first people I saw to really be using it. Shout out Greg, great application. Seeing it evolve over time. There's some really cool features that I've been using on Zealous in terms of tracking, and then using like those markers to then go off. If you want to make it more nicer, if you want to make it nicer, you can bring it onto then like the script, but using like timestamps and the emoji reactions to gauge that. And the idea of plugging that into an AI is really cool. I've been playing around with a workflow that takes Zealous into Zapier, the idea of taking the input from there and then taking the timestamps based on interactions and then sending that over to the script where it's like here's the best times to look for to now make an edit. Like that's a really cool one. There's a lot of great ways a lot of different markers you can use to find out what the best engaging parts are. And AI is not great at detecting that right now. And the emojis aren't necessarily the best way either, but for now I guess it's a good one for now of the options. There's a lot of ideas I had on how to do that. Comments are a cool one. If you can look at how many comments are doing that. Are people retweeting the space at a certain time because they see something funny? Could you look at that? It's different metrics that you can do. Group chats also, I found if there's a group chat for, let's say my show, right? Like the Overtime show, we have a group chat. People will likely speak in the group chat rather than on comments. So how can we gauge that? How do we know when a good moment is? How can we pull that? How can we direct user attention? Because the comment section, you could have a lot of comments around the show, but they're not in the comment section of that episode. So also the comments aren't timestamped connected to the show the way they would be right now. Like on StreamYard, where we're streaming now, every comment that we're having in like the private chat, you're having it set up with timestamps, but they're also not to the second, but to the minute. YouTube has a cool way of doing that where you're able to pull clips like that. So depending on what platform you're trying to like pull clips from, you have to find the best thing from. Also, like for me, I have a Fanzo, you'll love this. Whenever I'm on a space, I have if you go to like zealous.1/Moishi Media, I have one called Spaces I'm on or something like that. It's titled like that, which pulls every time I'm a speaker on a space. So it's like people say that if Mochi's on the space, it's recorded. And if I find something that I want to clip, I'll be like, yeah, like throw up to a host, like throw up a 10 emoji, a 100 emoji, because now I have a clip for that and it's automatically transcribed. What would be really cool is if you're able to set up a custom emoji. So let's say for like overtime, if I had a clock emoji that I could figure that on Zealous. And I mentioned this to Greg, like an idea where you can throw up a specific emoji for that group, and that means different items. Like if it's a cool, and you can have mods that do that. So if there is a cool, question that happened, just a funny moment, like different emojis will trigger different moments on Zealous. If that makes sense. Special emojis that you wouldn't regularly use, like weird ones, you could have your mods use. That could be really cool.
Yeah, and I think the big piece of this too is like, recording what you have and like use feedback, right? Like if someone tweets out and says like, man, this is my favorite part of your podcast, all I do is go back and find that piece and put content around it, right? Like if one person thought it was valuable, like that's a big piece of it. And let's face it, I mean, Twitter Spaces is still behind the curve. I mean, Elon decided to bring president candidate on and then break the entire thing. Like there's a lot of things that would be nice to have inside of this Twitter API, but rumor has it's worth 1/3 of what it was when Elon bought it. So I don't see any upgrades coming anytime soon. But yeah, I think it's definitely a good one. And the other thing that is nice with Zealous, you don't even have to do it on Twitter Spaces. I have my podcast pulled directly in with the RSS feed. So as soon as my podcast goes live, it pulls it in there. It runs a full transcript. I can use it right directly. So like all my podcast show notes are done using Zealous. The audio in, I say ChatGPT summarize it within Zealous. It summarizes it. I copy that into my show notes of the podcast and I press publish on the podcast. So like, I mean, that's the magic there, is streamlining that shit.
You guys are being, I don't think anybody realizes like the level of just experience from people that are on the stage, that are in the live stream right now. Like these are all people to follow. Please follow. Please, like, we're not going to be doing this forever. What time is it right now? We got like 15 minutes. We're going to wrap this. But I just want to say, like, I learn a ton from these people all the time and watch what they're doing. And these aren't people that just know a couple things. They work. They do the stuff that they talk about. So if you don't know all these people that are saying stuff right now, you're missing out. AI can help you a lot, but at the end of the day, you have to be the one that's doing this stuff, and then AI is going to empower you. These are people who are powered up, and then they're using AI and they're using tools and they're squeezing every last drop out of value that they can from efforts they're already putting in. So
Chris, let me give a quick little workflow that I built out. So StreamYard.
And then we're going to Sapphire, damn it, because she's been patient as shit. Go for it.
Mochi, go ahead. But we got to go to Sapphire.
All right, quick workflow, Santa. From StreamYard, you're streaming to Zealot. You're streaming to Instagram, right? On Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and you can also get over to from those. You can also have it sent over with OBS. You're streaming onto TikTok and more. So you could be streaming to 8-9 places at once. And when you have your clips auto set up from whichever, if you're using video or Opus, whatever one you're using, you then have that go into a Google Drive folder connected to repurpose.io. And that's distributing your short form content, which is getting connected to Google Drive via Airtable AI. You're getting captions made from ChatGPT. Everything goes into repurpose and distributed to short form content across everywhere. So TikToks, Instagram, Reels, LinkedIn, Twitter, and all separate customized copy for each video based on what platform it's going to. And you could also have Canva AI connected in there as well to create the thumbnails. Yeah, like everything can be automated, and you could have it set up as drafts into your Google Drive, where you then press publish if you want to make that edit. I prefer AI to do 90 to 95% of the work and have a human touch do the final, hammer in the nails, because there is those errors that you might want to perfect. But even if you just go 100 AI, you'll get so much work done. So while people always have that thing that it's not the best.
My worry though is let's say you have, and this is just from someone that's not done hard enough of a deep dive into this and focusing the next few weeks on doing so. But my worry is that let's say you have AI cut down, you know, a 4-hour clip down into an hour, let's just say, right? Like hypotheticals. And it's done all the editing for you, but then you want to like make sure it didn't bundle something up. That still means like you now have to listen through an hour and then edit that hour, which thankfully is way better than having to trim down the 4 hours. But it still means like you still have a full hour. Or am I completely wrong on my assumption?
No, you're not wrong. But look at it this way: like if I want to binge a whole series on Netflix and it's 10 episodes, and each episode is, you know, almost an hour long. There's so much damn work that's gone into that thing to keep me to care about it for an hour per episode. So like none of this stuff is like, but what's going to make it to where it's massively compelling content for an hour long? A fuckload of effort. That's what.
Yeah.
Like there's no getting around that. And having said that, Sapphire showed me this dope thing on my watch that I could do to like throw massive fast emojis. I don't know if she's got that on.
Wait, you can do it with a watch?
With the watch. Sapphire's got the alpha, but we're not going to her, and that's what we're gonna do now. Look at that. Look at that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. She's got that. Now everyone wants to hear from Sapphire. Yeah.
I had someone do that on my spaces multiple times in a row to the point where speakers could not speak without trailing off. I actually had to end up kicking that person from my spaces. And that was the only person to this day that I've kicked off my spaces completely. He tried to change his name on me, but I remembered his name, and he spooked out every time. Sapphire, please take the mic away from me. I'm throwing it to you. What's good?
I am not Sapphire. I am an AI bot that's designed to clap on command. Ha ha ha.
We weren't expecting that.
First of all, I just love this conversation for so many reasons. Like, honestly, a lot of what Brick was saying resonated with me because I detest being behind the camera. But I also realize that if I'm trying to get where I'm trying to go, I have to do it. So I'm like at the beginning stages where all my stuff is crap, but I'm at least recording it. And I'm just learning all these little tricks and techniques. And other than just like in the past being like a perfectionist and maybe having some insecurities, I think for me too, I'm actually out here single and trying to mingle some. Like I was trying to catfish, but I'm just like, to hell with it. I'm gonna get one. So,
sorry, you do not know the back end chat that we've had on the video call.
Ayo.
I get it though.
So I'm giving up my catfish. No tricking, no being like gotcha bitch for me. I'm just gonna have to be out there. So I just love this because I'm learning a lot. And then I was gonna ask, I know a lot of you all do more podcast hours, camera facing. Do you think this technology, like what you showed us in that clip on Kick, and if you're not in the Kick, then get in there. But do you think it would work for live, like motion performances and actual anything other than talking? Like, do you think it would be able to capture actual live performances?
Like this, like some of the dancing moves, you know?
Oh boy, we got Sansa's cameras following him around. I think here's the real question.
I'm kind of scared of what I'm seeing.
The guy's name is Dancing Eddie. What did we expect bringing him here? I think, yes, there's no shot that all these other things are going to progress further and we're not going to have some sort of, like, I've actually talked a lot about this and it always bugs them because they're always like weird devs that can't speak human. Like Brooke's amazing. Most of these people, they only speak robot and it's obnoxious. I'm like, learn how to speak, fool. But I talked to the guys at the metaverse stuff and I'm like, can we just have a cool camera that just is auto programmed to know that if I'm walking with my 3 metaverse homies and one of them talks, that it just like swivels over with the cool specific animation and shows his avatar. And then when I laugh, then it goes back to me and it does the pan shot and it chops it up and it knows that every 2 or 3 seconds it needs to change the view. Like there's no shot that we're not going to have that. And so having said that, if we have that in metaverse worlds, then there's no reason that we can't have, systems that I know there's already really cool systems in place. A lot of churches use these actually because they got all the different angles, right? And they got pastors walking, he's a pacer and he's going back and forth. And so you have all these views and people live stream a lot of church services. And so you have
that's manual
and all of that. Yeah. But I'm just saying at the end of the day, there's going to be something that says, okay, when camera 3 sees, dude foot enter the frame, switch to that. Like, you know what I mean? So I do think this is going to go that way eventually. For now, I'm just happy to see Sansa and Dancing Eddie. I hope that answers that
This is the
question.
first. Yeah, this is the first time I actually tested the camera moving with me.
Bro.
'Cause I don't move ever. So yeah, I spent a couple $100 on this camera to just stay there. But no, I do want to actually mess around with the settings on this. I know Chris wants me to as
What's
well.
the camera you
So
have,
just-
Sansa? Give us some. Tell us what it is.
It's the I don't know the actual
Movie?
name, but
It's the
essentially
360.
it features. Yeah, there you go.
Movie.
It's the 360. I didn't know it was that global. So essentially, it just follows and tracks me around. There's some other things that I can do, but like like if I do this, the camera will kind of reconfigure. But usually, what it's supposed to do is be able to zoom in or zoom out by depending where I do like basically an L feature here, and then it'll go up or down.
Yeah, mine's not doing
but
that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with mine.
Yeah.
It might be broken.
Well, it's probably not the fancy Insta360 Eddie, But yeah, go ahead, Melina. What was your question?
No, so it's called 3. Is that the one, Chris, that you recommended?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't actually get that delivered to Canada. So go figure. I don't know. There must be some illegal thing.
Another reason why Canada sucks.
I know. It's just like everything is calling me to leave.
You should have brought it to. You should have had it ordered and delivered to Beacon. Then you should have done that.
I didn't even think about that.
From the wallet, eye control.
As if you didn't have enough to plan for. Like this woman puts everybody else to shame. She gets all the shots she needs. She tracks down the people she needs to go after. Like Melina, she's already doing better than everybody else.
I didn't do it too much at VCon. I will say I was chill. I was chilling.
You know who I'm mad impressed with though on this subject is I gotta tell you, and the kid doesn't need much extra help on the ego. I certainly don't. OG crushed it. Seen all those interviews?
Yes.
My fucking guy.
He did,
I'm
yeah.
so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly, and it's one thing I was excited about with that was one, interviews do actually kind of perform pretty well after the fact. His have done exceptionally well, but also it's just like it was cool that a lot of these events, like a lot of events when you go in person, it's almost like people forget how to do Twitter or how to do YouTube. It's like they'll do event content and it's just like, here's what we did. And it's a nice showcase of the event. It's like, oh, people were sitting down here and look, they were sitting down over there. Like, I don't care. What I want to see is like, yo, I'm OJ and here I am with X influencer and like have fun, do cool stuff that people are going to actually watch after the fact.
To your point, Eddie, that's sort of that's the problem with a live event because it dies the minute the event is over, right? So
exactly,
you really have to.
Which, by the way,
okay. I was like, I thought he was gonna go pull out something. Which is why even before VCon, Chris and I had this space and we talked about. You sort of have to plan out things. I say unfortunately because people hate planning, but you have to plan out things. You have to. I would almost say like I don't know how OG did it, but like when I was in New York, I figured out who was going to be there. I figured out who I wanted. Again, you got to think about what's your brand, what are you doing, who are you talking to, but you have to you almost have to make it that the event is like
your canvas.
It's just the event, but what are you talking about? Like, is it relatable? Is it still relevant today?
Yeah.
Or
now, Melina, I will tell you, for the Azuki event in Vegas on the day of the Azuki event, which should be fun. This is not a shill. I'm going to be throwing a paintball event in Vegas.
There you go.
And I will tell you, it is going to be about the content. It is going to be about who gets shot, much less than it's about, oh, look, they were playing paintball. Like, no. Yeah. I want to see my favorite influencers get down and dirty with the paintball guns and get thick welts, hopefully not me because I'll be sick and I've got like my paintball mask somewhere in there.
But you're right, Eddie. That's way more interesting for people. Yeah, it's way more interesting. Yeah. I would also, I like, I'm going to say this here. I'm tired of like the video recaps. I'm like, nobody
suck.
Cares.
Nobody
cares. I know.
No one cares.
I know. Yeah. Unfortunately, I say this because it's the same thing. Like I came back from New York and the struggle, and this is why we're talking about AI and is it going to take over, is that I couldn't push out my content fast enough.
Fast enough.
It just that is the problem. It has nothing to do with, we could have so many ideas. It's almost like you need to be there, be present, edit, film, like, and it's got to come out the same week, which it's just hard.
You know what I'm worried about?
There's no such thing as being present when you are at these fucking events trying to do this at all. You have to, like, I'm obviously being a little bit of a doomer here. I didn't mean to, like, come in hot and cut everyone
Cry
off.
about it.
It was just like, yeah, I've experienced an FTNYC and I've experienced VCon, and to me, I saw OG getting these interviews. I was watching him behind the scenes. I was hanging out with him, and
You made it into one of the videos.
10 minutes.
Did you turn his mic off? I'm just kidding.
But no, he actually had an issue a couple times where he's like, oh shit, my mic wasn't charging as much, and like he was like, oh shit, like I'm running on low battery mic. So it's just like, but he was taking the time, he was putting in extra time of going to find these interviews, going to find these things, going, and they're like a minute plus long. So I think it's just about, I think the trap that a lot of people fall into way too often, and then I'll stop and throw it over to begin at the last hand up. Is that they fall into the trap of engagement, and I specifically speak on Twitter engagement, and it's just Chris was so happy the other day. I was like, I'm just gonna like completely stop. Like I cared a little bit because I was like, oh, it's like my resume, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, no, I'm just gonna. If I want to post something, I want to post it because I think it'll make sense with what I'm talking about. Because at the end of the day, I don't post a lot of video content. I have a lot of chances and ideas to do it. I just don't execute as much as I want. And so that's going to change in the next couple months going forward. Because to me, the video content, I fucking love doing it. I love doing.
We got to get ready for when Twitter starts promoting the hell out of it.
Yeah. Be ahead.
Exactly. So anyway, the TLDR, my point that I was trying to make really was just don't care too much about Twitter engagement. Care more about being consistent with whatever you're putting out. Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, if worst case scenario, you did your best. It's been a few weeks. You figured out what worked and what didn't, and you readjust and work from there. Like really as simple as that. Yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, you can't be too bougie or perfectionist or whatever. And honestly, Fanzo is probably one of the most. It's like exhausting to think about how much this guy has just put out. Insane amounts of content consistently, video, audio, live.
Chris, you're rugging.
Damn it.
Or am I?
No. I was
that's just you, Sansa.
And so handsome, you're so smart. Fanzo's the best. That's what I was saying.
Appreciate the love.
Clearly, obviously.
Well, and timing's everything, Melina.
And he's busy.
It's just funny parody videos. Like if it was a week from now, that shit wouldn't be funny. Like I did one about the jugs thing. It's not funny now. Other than you can see my cleavage.
And also, wouldn't you say that it doesn't work on other platforms unless you're here? That's the other thing too. And I think sometimes people don't understand. It's so specific. That's why I always talk about figure out who the hell is your audience, because you could be putting out all this stuff on Instagram, but nobody gets it. So find a way for people to get it. And I would even say, okay, you come back from these events. Now what? Who are you? What are you about? There's got to
learn from that. Who did you talk to? What did you learn from them? Use them sort of like Chris uses us for his own content and we don't get paid for it. It's fucked up.
Wow.
I mean, that ain't the truth.
Spin it back. Learn it. No, I get from him what I need.
Go vegan so he can
go for the jugular.
That's right. It's fucked up.
Vegan, it's up to you.
That humorous, to get that point across, and the whole repurposing. I'm a big believer that doesn't really work. I'm sorry, not sorry. But what is it? 85,000 views in the Women in Web3 panel parody video on Twitter, which isn't even a video app, and 2,000 on TikTok, and I have millions of views on other shit with me just sitting in the car. Repurposing does not always work. It's audience, it's topic.
Leave that expectation at home. Don't take it out to social media. All right. You're right, though. You're right. Vegan, redeem me for a moment because I'm all over the place.
Yeah, well, it's actually funny. I did want to like talk to you guys, talk about the live event thing, and I do put on 2 live events every week. And my experience is not when it's over, they leave. It's the opposite. I'm kicking people out the door every single. I'm like, guys, I gotta go. But I think that's because we just do like, I only care about one thing in my mind. It's do smart, cool people meet other smart, cool people and have an interesting combo. And I think so many times it's like literally individuals. Every week, I'm like, Chris came this week. There's a couple people I was like, you two have to talk. Get together. You two have to talk. And then usually if a couple, because you know, I always think about this at parties, at events, it's not everyone having the most amazing conversation that's equal. It's a couple people holding court and people like, oh my God, did you get to hear those 2 people having this amazing conversation? And I was near it and got to input some. And so I think like that's one of the keys for events. And then in LA, we have so many NFT events here. There's one every single day, almost every single day. And one of the things I've had so many people express to me is that like a lot of the events when they're coming up, they're like, we have to make content to make this pop. We got to make content. And then people go to the event and then they come back and they go, it was really weird. They kept trying to milk me for content and make me take photos and make sure, hey, can you two stand together? And it's like, you don't ever get the time to actually have fun. So I think like, I really like content that is captured organically and not always, the classic, like, what do you think about this? Answer these questions, because it's like, it does kind of change the expectation of how people are interacting. And last thing is when we think about like engagement, follows, likes, all those things, right? You can have 1 million of them, right? How many of them actually move over, actually convert to whatever you're needing to do? It is crazy how, right? You need like 1 like from the right person. You need to meet 1 good person. And if you sometimes like chase the whatever higher engagement is, like I'm a programmer. It's like shit posting memes don't get me programming gigs all the time, right? And so sometimes you're like, I post that interesting tech topic and it's like, damn, it's kind of low. But then someone's like, yo, interesting, let's talk. And then they have more money than everyone else. So that's all. Thanks.
Dude, that's exactly it. That was my experience at that event. And just before, because I'm going to pass it around and we'll close out. But Vegan and Trick have set up such a cool environment. When I went there, I was so nerded out looking at all the tech, the gear, the stuff that speaks to me. Fanzo, you would have just been tripping over yourself.
Sounds like
it. But there's just all these big giant stream decks. I was like, oh man, cool SM7Bs. And they're like, dude, those are like, that's like the bozo mics. Like we got a cabinet full of dope stuff. And then they dropped some weird acronyms that I don't know what they meant. But it was really, really cool. And the vibe was just, it was immaculate. It was on point. So I appreciate what was there. And I was like, I don't need to go all these places. I'm by LA. I'll just sit in the car. I never have to drive anywhere. Like my kitchen is 15 feet that way, right? I have a nice, cute little house. Like I don't go anywhere. This is what I do. This is where I'm at. So if I'm going to travel somewhere, I don't need to get on a plane. I go hang out with cool people in LA because Vegan has built an amazing experience. So
yeah, let's not talk about
all of you.
I was going to say
nice
that's
all of you that don't live in Idaho like me.
I was going to say though, because I'm hearing Chris.
Idaho.
I don't want him to FUD conferences. Right, we're closing now. Okay, Chris, we're closing.
She's muted.
I wanted to shut it down.
That's the mute button from Melina. All
Yeah.
right. Well, how about co-host privileges? Melina, what do you think his closing thoughts are on this besides me fudding project?
So here's where my mind is going. Is AI going to take over our content creation? I don't think so. I also said this on stage at VCon. I think right now we need to hone in as to who we are. I say accept your differences. That is what's going to separate you from everybody else on TikTok. I'm saying TikTok, but any other platform. And I think I'm still going to use my editor. Sorry.
Do it. Oh, we fudded Canada and we have a hand up from a Canadian. All right. I'm just going to be stupid and say, Eileen, let's get that Canadian power in there before we move to the last hands here or last speakers.
Hi, Chris. Hi, guys. Thank you for allowing me to say something. So I have you on Chromecast on TV, and I'm trying to follow you. I think I follow Chris.
I'm on TV.
And yeah, you are on a 75 inch for sure. Is it Melina?
Yes. Hi.
I don't know how to. What's your name on Twitter, Melina? Because you're not
Girl in the Verse.
She's the co-host, one right next to me.
With the red.
Let me make this easier.
So let me follow that. Yeah.
She is.
How Sansa
right
was
here.
like right here, as if that would help. Like
between Sansa
No,
and Fanzo.
Yeah. I got that one so fine. I was just because I'm trying to like link you guys up and see who's on video on YouTube and then who you are in here because all of you are coming through only through Chris on Twitter. I think you understand what I mean
No,
by that.
it's
And there's a
top.
bit of
That's
a
why I
lag.
put that video or that
Yeah.
tweet up at the top.
Yeah.
I'm the sexy one.
Love this show. You all are sexy. You're all beautiful. Sincerely. I was just curious about one thing. Or one, and I mean this respectful.
She said I was sexy and rugged. That's okay.
Any of you
Go ahead.
Up for for hire? Like I don't see a subscribe button specifically to any of you. I'm not sure if you've submitted in our pending. One.
Pending.
Two, somebody said pending?
Pending, yeah.
Pending as well, yeah.
Yeah, pending. Okay. And one of you is in YYZ. Is it Melina? You're in Toronto? Yeah.
I'm in Montreal.
Okay. Oh shoot. I wish you were in Toronto. Okay. But none of you, so from what I can tell, none of you are for hire, like specific, like one-on-one hire.
I mean, I kind of am.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. See, this is where I can't tell who's saying it. This is the challenge. I'm so sorry. So
Melina definitely
are you guys
is.
for hire?
Yeah.
Okay. Melina, you are, and then who else is? Somebody
It was
else
me,
is
but
there?
For hire for what? Because
Melina, she's way better than me.
For like a one-on-one coaching on what you guys are talking about. So like just like tools that you're using. I subscribe.
I do
to you
excellent
through-
burlesque
on your
shows.
YouTube.
I don't know if that's.
Keep the Riz to a minimum, Eddie. Let's go.
I'll talk to you about that later.
If you are, if in this chain, if somebody can
I'll
say who is.
Eileen, I'll DM you after this, and anybody that you wanted to connect with after the fact, go for it. And we are actually closing down. I see my boy Ryan down there, and I want to bring him up, and I want to talk to him, and I want to talk to everybody, but we've been going for 2 hours. Your boy's butt hurts. I'm tired of sitting here. And you can't do things like
I have a family that haven't seen me in 2 days.
Look at that.
You
Look
know,
what we're doing. We're families are being put to the back burner. This is sad.
No, but you're gonna pay your family. You're gonna get hired. You know what I mean? When you're not going cheap, and like you're gonna get quality stuff. You're gonna get quality pay, right? So we're gonna do a good thing. I just wanted to know if anybody was up for hire, and I think it was Sanzo that's gonna DM me.
That's Chris. Chris will DM you.
Chris,
Anybody that
yeah.
you want to connect with.
Beautiful.
$1,000 an hour, or don't even try.
No, but I wanted to go back to the closing remarks, what I said before, which is I think I'm still going to keep my editor. I'm curious to see what all of you have to say. That's just my take.
100%.
Yeah,
Fanzo, what do you think? Editor? No, Sanzo's going to keep his editor because that's kind of me. So, Fanzo, what do you think?
I don't know about my editor. I'm feeling him out. You know, it's been a few months now. I definitely will. And even on the hypothetical situation that I wouldn't, it would still be a lot of work because I've used ChatGPT for, you know, just really simple stuff, simple tasks, and there's still a little refining needed. So I can only imagine how much more refinement is needed even on a more complicated stage. But what I will say is that AI is definitely a fantastic supplement to content creation. Just like Photoshop when it first came out and no one understood it, it became a great supplement to image editing and whatnot. So that's kind of the path that I see AI taking here. Perhaps a little bit quicker because with machine learning, it can actually speed up a little bit more and whatnot. But that's just my take. And one thing that I wanted to also add before the closing remarks was, begin. You have inspired me. I really want to run a fantastic IRL Twitter Spaces event, like to the point where people like, this was such a fun party. And the Twitter Spaces was fucking fire. It wasn't just two people sitting next to each other while the crowd go ahead and did whatever the fuck they wanted. People were engaged, people that. So that's the type of experience that I really want to do. And I'll definitely be picking your brain at some point, my man. So just wanted to give you a heads up there. But don't worry, I won't be bothering you too much, just enough. But anyway, Chris, who else did you want to pass it to for the closing remarks?
I love what Fanzo has there. Oh my God, so nice.
Fanzo was telling you, go for it, sir.
Yeah, there it is right there. So my answer to that question on that side is, for content you create, I say use an editor. For content you're documenting, use AI. And I think if we can find that happy medium, so like, I think that's a big lesson. I know Gary preaches it, but it was a game changer for me. There's content that I create, which is a one certain type of content, and then there's documentation type content, right? Like this Twitter space will be sent to my zealous. If I think I said something, of value in the Twitter space today, actually, it won't have come out of my mouth because we're using all Chris's mouth here. But normally I would be able to kind of tweet that out with a graphic. But and I'll throw in like my closing remarks on the side of like, measuring success is really hard when you don't define success first. So just be very aware of like what your success is as a creator and try to set that up from the beginning. My success is always the same. I want repeat viewership or repeat listenership. I don't give a shit about, one video going viral, a bunch of people listening to one of my podcast interviews. I want people to come back repeatedly. That's the people that are the mature leads. That are the people that are actually my audience. And I tell you what, I document that shit manually using an Excel spreadsheet. If you tweet my podcast out saying I love this episode more than once, your Twitter handle goes into an Excel spreadsheet with your name because now I know that your persona is someone. So like repeat viewership. If you get people to come back more than once, that's the person you're going to focus on. Screw the viral shit. Screw the, trying to get, 15-second hooks. That's where, my attention goes. And, of course, press the damn button.
I love that, dude. That's actually just crazy alpha. It's just like, don't get in your own damn way. Don't get too smart for your own good. Sometimes just pay attention and fucking write that down. And
I saw someone on YouTube just commented they have 0 subscribers. We all started with 0 subscribers. And the beautiful thing about it is I was doing Google Plus interviews 10 years ago, interviewing Tony Robbins, interviewing Damon John. And I was honing in my skills then. I had no idea. I mean, no one watched it. It was on Google Plus. I mean, most people don't even realize that. Oh yeah. I mean, you look at my
Eddie,
YouTube.
if you don't know what that is, we're gonna have words.
Eddie's like
Google
13 years.
Well, don't do if Google does anything with social media, run the other way because I had Google Wave and Google Plus, and I decided to go viral on Meerkat, and that was also a wonderful mistake. That my 15 minutes of fame. But I will say the things that you're doing now to learn how to be a better interviewer, content creator, scale, process. When the things kind of take off, like for me, when I launched the NFT 365 podcast, that was my eighth freaking podcast. 7 of them no one had ever heard of. One of them is called Press the Damn Button, by the way, just FYI, that most people don't even listen to. But all those 7 podcasts allowed me to hone the skills to where whenever I decided to do a daily podcast with 5 days notice, I was able to lean into that. So that's the piece of this. We all start with 0. And the more you start now, the better you'll be off later on. Everyone has an excuse of why they're not starting.
100%. Brooke, are you keeping editors? Are you going all robot all the time? What's your thought? Are you going to be the editor? Are you going to be the robot?
I don't know. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. And for me, it's been easy just to
Bullshit. Wait. Bullshit. I watched you do edits prior to this. And in the last video that you put out was fucking fire, pacing, chopped up. There was audio. It had nothing to do with it. Just chopped it up like autopod. So, okay.
Yeah, that was me.
You were awesome.
I don't know. Like I'm just saying it's just slow. Cause like, I don't have time to sit and like you said, Premiere is, I'm not great at it. So I will have to sit and do this. And with grad school and work and like all of the travel and all of that, even that hour of me like learning Premiere to do Autopod was rough. But the AI thing, I have to say this, that like, I really, truly don't believe that it's going to like take over or hinder any type of content creation because no AI is going to be able to like replicate my energy. So you're going to be able to look in my eye in that video and know that it's me because no way is an AI going to be able to replicate my soul and my actual like energy because you've all been around me in real life, a lot of you, and you're going to know that that's me. And so I really, encourage people to like, look at it that way. Your content is your like passion and your soul that's going to come through because that electricity does actually come through the screen. And I just don't think an AI is going to be able to replicate that ever. unless they become sentient. And then it's just going to be a clone of me. And then that's great because I can go take a nap and the clone can do all the rest of this shit that I have to do. So
Yeah,
honestly, that would be fucking great. I would love
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
If they can make us take a nap and they can make our content, I don't think they need us.
What's with all these adults and grown people talking about sleep?
All right, Eddie, what's your take? Is AI taking over content creation, Eddie?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it is. Obviously, it's not going to be like at least unless it's an experiment, it's probably not going to be like the core of the content. Like people still want to connect with people, and people are hardwired innately to connect with other people. But at the same time, I mean, if you're talking about workflows and streams, to make things way faster, I mean, it's gonna change everything, and that's like, it's making me want to come back to, because like I've had this for years, and I had a stretch where I was editing, and it just became like exhausting. It took like hours and hours and hours of time, and I was just like, it's not, for how good I am and how good I can be, like this is not where I think my energy is best distributed. But you take it and you slice the amount of effort down by like 80-90%, and you just focus it on the content of the content rather than the creation of said content. And like, there we go, that clicks. So for me, I just feel like, and I never had the ability to like hire a 10-person team. So now that, maybe not 10-person, but you get the idea. So like I can the reality of me becoming more of a content creator, especially on the video side of things, has increased exponentially in probably the last 3 months. And that's why I'm going to probably try and spend the summer diving into it, and we'll see.
Love it, man. Well, thank you for joining today. Thank you for everybody who contributed a bunch. We actually are streaming to 9 places aside from this Twitter space. So we're in 10 places across the internet right now. That's all sorts of opportunity to clip things up and to share with different audiences and cross-pollinate and all that stuff. And so, yeah, if you don't have a 10-person team, just invite a bunch of smart people to your live stream and syndicate all over the internet. Who needs a team? Who needs AI? I just got all these people. All right, I'm just playing. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for joining this space. Join us next week on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and connect with everybody who's up here speaking, and the people next to you on the stage, and the people next to you in the audience, because there's a lot of smart people listening too. We appreciate you, everybody. You people on stage, don't leave. I need your videos to upload in the background. Everybody on Twitter, I'll probably be in a space in like 5 minutes. See you there.
Bye, guys.
Au revoir.
You guys are
okay.